What's up, Zhao? Rooting for Germany B, rooting for the Otter team. All right. We got a Germany B fan in the chat. Don't have any mods, so we won't be doing any Gambler necessarily, but Otter team, you mean Turfuck Sniper? Yeah, the admin abuse team. And with Otter's history of TOing as well, they have quite the TO heavy team. I don't know if Turfuck has necessarily played actually. I think it's pretty much only been Benanji, Otter, and Sniper in all the maps. And especially with this matchup, I doubt they're going to go and do the unknown player kind of play where they're like, you know what, you can have a game. Turfuck's played? Okay, maybe I was wrong. I'm happy to be it wrong. I almost want to, like, one thought I've had about, like, a future iteration is that if you have a team of more than 3 people, everyone has to play, or you get admin losses or something. I haven't really thought it through, but it's the quote-unquote punishment for having a large team. So, but I also would rather just have some caps. But we have Germany B versus Pakistan, and we have the map draft. We're getting Team Islands right away. Germany B starting off strong into Vinland Saga. Interesting map choices so far. What's up, man? We have 2 exciting map choices so far. I expect to see a Runestones picked because both teams like just a standard map. But I know Germany B of all the teams... Oh, banning Runestones. All right. Going off meta. I know of all the teams in the tournament, I think Germany B has tried to cook the most. Golden Stream banned makes sense. Don't really want to face water more than once. Also, if you have both water maps, that does nerf the Jurchen's pool just a little bit because it does kind of limit you a bit more than normal. So see what their pick is. I hope we pick Coast. I mean, I assume we're going to get a Coast to Mountain game because I think everyone's realizing just Coast to Mountain is the best map for this tournament. Canyon Lake. That's an interesting one. We haven't had too much on Canyon Lake, I feel like. I feel like a lot of times the Canyon Lake games have been mostly one-sided when they happen. They don't really go on for too long. Like, we don't see a lot of water play or fight over in the middle or something. Like, I don't know. I haven't been very impressed with Canyon Lake. Let's put it that way. Kawasan has been interesting as well. So very heavy water related maps, even though Kawasan and Canyon Lake aren't the water maps. Yeah. Outcrop and Canyon Lake, if I had the choice, I think I'd take those 2 out of the rotation. They just have been the least exciting. Like, if there have been good matches on those maps, I don't think it's been because of the map. I think it's just been because the players are having a good match, right? I think it is they're just kind of like the most Runestones like with how they've played out. So banning Golden Lakes. We haven't seen a lot of Golden Lakes either. I think that's just been a bit weird. And we get Coast to Mountain first. We get a great map pool. I like this map pool. Kawasan, Team Islands, Vinland Saga, Canyon Lake. I think I would have probably preferred... I think maybe swap Canyon Lake for either Runestones or Outcrop. I'd probably be happy, but... I'd rather take out the Runestones? Yeah. I mean, for the pool play, yes. For playoffs, no. My opinion is when you want highly competitive matches, you need the Runestones in there. And we've had this argument I've had this discussion many times. For pool play, absolutely, I would be cool with taking Runestones out. But for playoffs, I would want Runestones. Germany B going with pool 4. Okay, they're cooking. They are really cooking. Interesting. So, looks like some of their opinions have changed. They've also changed how I mean, like I said, Germany B has cooked more than almost any other team, from what I understand. So, it is interesting to see how Germany B kind of mixes things up. Because I think most teams are just like, we're going to run either pool 2 or the same, or whichever pool they choose, they're going to run it pretty much all the way through. They have their favorite maps and stuff, but I know Germany B has specifically, like they've mentioned, like, they scout a little bit, they change their plans based on the team they're playing. That was also a pretty quick pick. I mean, they're all in voice chat, so they definitely are communicating. And they probably worked out a lot of thoughts, but it's like, this does seem like a very strong pool four with all the different water civs. With Kawasan and Team Islands, even Canyon, like adding some fires or something, because is this they have the Chinese and everything. So, yeah, this is gonna be a great match. I am already actually going to have to pop a cough drop because we'll just start off strong. Which doesn't bode well. But yeah, what are people feeling? I don't know if I can do a poll here. Start a prediction. Manage poll. Create a new poll. Is it poll or prediction? Which one do I want? Start a prediction, right? Here we go. Who wins game one? We want Germany B, and Pakistan. Okay, we'll see if this works. What's up, Camrat? Sweden played pool four first. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think Sweden could kind of win most matches with whichever pool. Um, so I don't think Sweden really has needed to cook too much in this tournament compared to some of the other teams who are much more having a difficulty fighting for who have to really game plan and come up with strategies and stuff. So that definitely could help a little bit. All right, spectator bet dashboard. Don't let me down. In the meantime, we can go to DM Nations Cup here. And we can take a look at the teams. I mean, we kind of know these teams already. Pakistan has Ula, Original, Siege, WApDAFeAr, and Oxygen. All very strong players, especially in DM. And then Great Germany B has the admin super team. We have Otter One, Sniper, Turfux, Benanji, AR12. All incredibly powerful players themselves. That is not the one we want. This is... Oh, the other game's still going on. Exciting. Custom map pool. They probably just haven't chosen yet. Where is Ula? Ula is... I mean, what flag is that? I mean, it's probably Pakistan adjacent or something, but... Yeah, how are people feeling? There's a prediction up, which hopefully that worked properly. I'm never too sure. I don't do much streamer shenanigans stuff. Let me just make sure that everything looks right. I need to go into streamer mode so we don't get pinged. Appearance, streamer mode. Turn that on. Cool. I'm very upset that they took streamer mode into a sub menu instead of having it be very easy, but yeah, I mean, this is gonna be an interesting match. So we can take a look actually at the standings for this pool. Arabian and Iceland still need to play, but I mean it is split down the middle. So essentially, whoever wins the next two matches for these decides the seeding, right? Mapuche dominance on coast to coast on coast to mountain continues. I mean, it could, it very well could. So Pakistan and Germany, I mean, they both have won 3-0s, right? No one's dropped a game. So it is purely down to head to head. I mean, it was down to head to head regardless, but this is going to determine seeding for the playoffs, which is going to be huge. You definitely want to be in the top half because you don't want to be paired up against Sweden round one, right? And if you end up in the second seed, you very well could be. So, for example, in Group G, Russia has a chance to get paired against. Well, they aren't going to get paired against Sweden because we're trying to avoid double eliminations. So there's going to be a little bit of finagling there. But right now we're waiting for the teams to join. Otter and Sniper are going to be the so far it's Otter, Sniper, Siege, and Ula. Waiting to see who the third for each of them is. But what are people predicting? What are the final scores? Are people expecting a game? I'm hoping for a game 5. I'm hoping for a full game 5. All very, very close sets. I mean, I think most people want that, but I'm sure the players are like, no, give us 3-0. One thing I am actually gonna check because I am a sucker for a certain sport, and I'm really hoping that a certain team wins, so a certain combination of teams win. Oh, this is bad. We want Boston to win. We want Boston to win this, so that if Minnesota wins Game 5, Minnesota and Boston play in the finals as they did 2 years ago, and I can go to games. And that would be super sick. Playoff hockey is fucking fantastic, women or men. All right. Believe in Germany heavy, but I don't know about Pool 4. Pool 4 is an interesting pick. I mean, it is a very water-heavy map pool, so it does make sense there. How will the seeding work? So we're going to be doing a live drawing, most likely. If not a live drawing, it'll just be we'll do a drawing in some way. Essentially, all the top seeds will be placed into the top. Essentially, if you're a top seed, which Sweden is, so everyone who wins their pool will get paired against somebody who came in second in their pool. And the thing we're going to try to avoid is, like we said, Sweden played Russia in the pool. Russia and Sweden are not going to play the first round, most likely. I might try to turn a bracket rig a little bit and make it so they wouldn't, theoretically, if Russia has a run, Sweden and Russia wouldn't play until later in the bracket. But we can't really guarantee that. I think we're just going to rely on making sure the first round is not a repeat matchups anywhere. But that also could mean that Germany, if Germany B ends up in the second seed, Germany A could play Germany B in the first round. We won't be caring about country matchups. Maybe we will. I still have to go over some of what we kind of want to do restrictions wise, if we want to have any, or if we just want to kind of throw everyone into the bracket and just see where everything falls. And we're gonna have Turfucks play the first one, so they heard me talking shit about Turfucks. They heard me talking shit. They're like, you know what? Turfucks got to show up. We can't have. I thought it was just gonna be Benanji, Sniper, and Otter all the way through, but I have been proven wrong. Just want to see what the score is. Okay, so they are actually having a good game. Mexico B versus Team Great Britain B. So I won't look too much into that, but it is not just a stomp like some games have been. I don't think that one was expected to be much of a stomp. So we're waiting on the third player from Team Pakistan, which could be Original, could be WApDAFeAr, could be Oxygen. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of these are very strong players. I mean, they're 2-0 in their group, so they had the first seed, so they're a very strong team. Ula and Siege both are incredibly strong. This play just got updated, a refresh. What got changed? Participants? Robo changed participants. Don't mind me. Ah, typo. That'll do it. Yo, shoutouts to Robo for managing or being one of the main Wikipedia contributors for this. I know I've done a lot, but I have struggled. This is my first time using Wikipedia, so I've not been the best at making sure everything's good. Levu Love. Who is Levu Love? You and Zhao used to be friends, Ula. Levu Love is who? AoE2 Insights. No, we want search player. Okay, so we don't know who Levu Love is. Ulo, you're here. Who is Levu Love? Or is that a random person who joined and wasn't supposed to? Okay, it might have been some random person who wasn't supposed to join, which would be hilarious. There's too many people who use the alternates. They don't have their name accurate and everything. Original. Okay, it is going to be original. That makes more sense. That makes much more sense. We can already see some colors being picked too. Looks like Siege is going to be the pocket. Yes, we need more drama. Can't be a successful tourney without drama of some kind. I mean, we had all the Netherlands versus France drama. The Zhao rivalry with France. Actually, while we wait, I mean, it's going to come down to Switzerland, Netherlands. Um, but there's a chance Netherlands and France could run into each other in Silver League. What's up, Toucan? How we doing? We're getting ready to watch some important deathmatch games. Does seem like Zhao is usually involved. Hey, somebody's got to make everything exciting, and they're redoing the lobby trick. It looks like Tempo, Turs, Tifa, and Zhao. Speaking of, it's great to see how many people are just playing deathmatch all the time. It's great. Sniper made the lobby. That's concerning. He's had problems making the map before, or making the lobby before, even though he's an admin. We'll see if this goes well. I don't know, they're not subbing Otter out, right? I don't think Otter would sub himself out for game one. Oh, he is. Otter's gonna sub himself out for Benanji. Interesting. Maybe it's because Benanji wasn't sure he was gonna show up. I'm assuming Otter's gonna pop into chat at some point and explain why, but interesting. Game one is gonna be Coast of Mountains, remember. We don't have a Civ mirror, so I'm expecting to see some Otter's taking a lot of emotional damage from Ula and TDM, maybe scared. That's true. Otter also was casting early. Was Otter casting this morning? No, Gamer was into mending lingo. So let's see. Spanish, Mongols. So Coast of Mountain we've seen. I mean, there's gonna be an Elephant Civ, probably the Mongols as well. Could maybe the way, maybe the shoot, probably not, but like you could go for some like Malay on the water or something. For pool 2, it's gonna be Persians, like you always play Persians on Coast of Mountain as pocket. You can see Teutons there as well, and Japanese or Byzantines. Like Coast of Mountain pool 2, I feel like is pretty well set up what you pick there. Pool 4, we haven't really seen quite as much, so. Oh, wrong dupe. Don't try to breathe water, folks. Wait, isn't the worst on water or on Coast Mountain? Yeah, because one of the things is like with Wei, at least they do have a slight bonus to water, right? In this fact, their Luchans are cheaper and Tractor Trebs are cheaper. And then it just becomes more of what they do on land, right? So you could theoretically use them as your water sieve and just have cheaper Luchans. So like there's some bonus there, but you usually don't want to necessarily play the way for their water bonus on Team Islands because this bonus isn't good enough in Team Islands. What's up, Pasta? Yo, Nuclear Pasta, how does it feel to be Dave's hero? I'm assuming you probably saw Dave's cast of your game. He was like, yo, Pasta's the MVP. Pasta's great. I'm so pumped that Dave decided to watch it, and you guys put on the most banger match we could have hoped for. Dave got the whole spread of what DM can be, and it was such a good thing for it. I'm gonna be so disappointed when we have to play you, and if Dave casts that, and it's just, it's a waste of time. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. What's up, Turs? We're just waiting on them to start. It is interesting. It looks like Otter has benched himself for the first game. Otter believing in his team. I mean, he's got some heavy hitters. Yeah, Turs, how much has Germany A and Germany B been practicing with each other lately? I know you guys were doing a lot of practice early on. Let's see, are there any messages? Okay, Sniper sent a new lobby. Easy to look good when you got to play +4 full ladies. Well, yes, but it was like multiple games where you did really well. Um, but yeah, it was. We did a few sets, and Keller gave them some tips. Yeah. Poka, Poka, that's the wrong team, buddy. Poka, we appreciate the enthusiasm. Go. Actually join. I don't think you've played for International B yet. I don't think you played for any of the International B. Come on, Poka. Go. You're trying to play for the wrong team right now. Not enough tips. They still choose pool 4. Yeah, Churs, how do you feel about Germany B picking pool 4? I mean, in my mind, there's a lot of water on these maps, or like there's islands and then the 2 hybrid maps and Vinland Saga, so it's and Coast Mountain. So like if pool 4 is the water pool, then like it kind of makes sense. But I was very shocked by the pool 4 pick. That was a little bit of a shock here. All right, looks like we're in. Okay, good. Those are all good. We'll see if they have everything set up. Koreans, Persians, Byzantines, Malians, Romans. Malians and Romans. All right. So, okay, who do we got? We got Turfux playing the Mapuche. We do have Mapuche dominance. Lucky Carms called it. Keller was vehement. I don't know why I can't pronounce that right now. I'm not going to try. That pool 4 was trash for water, which is interesting, yeah. Mapuche. Okay, I need to refresh myself on the Mapuche. I'm sorry. I'm still struggling to learn these new civs. I get them mixed up because they have so similar name in a way. Like, they have bolus riders. Those bolus riders could be useful on this. Enemy castles are revealed. That's pretty nice. Mountain units generate 3 gold. That's pretty nice. Extra HP. Foragers don't matter. Settlements can train. Sure. Team castle unique units. Oh, team castle unique units are cheaper. That is a nice little thing. So, but they don't get any water bonuses, so we probably won't see them in the water. Let's see. So it's Mapuche on the flank. We have Benanji as Malians in the pocket, so that's going to be that. And Romans on the other flank versus Byzantines, Persians, and Koreans. That makes much more sense. But that's also a very, like, Persians and Koreans in one game is a heavy commitment. So let's get underway. Alrighty. We'll have to set up the casting first. Yeah, it's gonna see, like, it'd be interesting to see if pool 4 ends up being an expensive mistake for them. There's a lot riding on this matchup, so you gotta be pretty confident in your pool choice. Otter said you don't want to play the eco game. That's fair. Bench captain gives you Gamba. Hey, I tried to set it up. I did set it up, and no one responded to it, so. Alright. DMN Nations Cup. Oh, wait, no. DM Nations Cup. Pool F Decider. Germany B. Pakistan. Alright, let me just get a slug of water. Alright, and welcome to DM Nations Cup. Welcome to Deathmatch Nations Cup between Germany B and Pakistan, the Pool F decider. On the German team, we have Sniper playing the Romans for the Water Civ. The pocket is Benanji with Malians, and Turfux playing the Mapuche, Lucky Carm's favorite Civ. On the flank, the opponents is Original playing the Koreans and castle walling at the get-go with is Original in the blue. In the pocket is going to be Siege playing the Persians. And in the teal is Ula playing the Byzantines with their fast fires. Can the... Oh, we have a little bit later docks going up. So trying to snipe a villager, but no scouts are over here and a couple camels are. In the meantime, dock has gone up. Villager was able to quick wall, so Sniper is going to be able to get onto water, but only one dock so far. Halberdier is coming over here to clean this up and allow for more docks for Sniper, and there will be some water fighting going on. Sniper does get the first dock out and is going to be going Warhulks. So Roman Warhulks. Do Romans get any Navy bonus? That's the question. Galley Line and Dromans get extra armor, so Warhulks not really benefiting here. But, I mean, unless the infantry armor upgrade affects them. If it does, that's pretty good. Which, 4+4. I mean, yeah. Anyways, we do have a rush on the top side. The Mapuche sending forward their champion warriors, trying to snipe some and some Bolus riders as well. Did we get a villager pick? I believe we did. Yeah, 3 kills so far for the Bolus riders, stopping these castles on the top side. So very nice pickoffs from Turfucks on the top side. Let's see, champions and Bolus riders against Fire Lancers. We have elite war wagons. And we're going to be seeing rocket carts soon. But I mean, losing 3 villagers that early on is definitely cut into the production of Original. We do see slingers as well. Where are their slingers? Am I just missing them? The Champions and the Bolus Riders. Just opening? Yeah, that's fair. In the meantime, the Persian elephants are starting to get going. We do see Benanji trying to harass in the middle, and looks like Sniper's actually losing water a little bit. These Byzantine fire ships are, of course, going to cause problems. So there's a lot of Hulks back here, and I think in the triangle, Hulks should beat fast fires, if I remember correctly, right? Pretty sure Hulks are supposed to beat fast fires beat galleys, galleys beat Hulks. Or is it the other way around? Either way, looks like both of them are going to start building up. We see markets going up, though there is a secret Savar hidden there. And now we have the camels joining Turfucks on the north side to put pressure onto Original. A little bit of skirmishing in the middle. Some halberdiers try to come down into the middle. But right now, if there's a little bit of focus... And no, looks like Benanji has abandoned 2v1ing the Koreans to deal with the pressure from the Persians in the middle. Benanji does have some siege honors just to help deal with these elephants, but he has to avoid them getting sniped by the Savar. And will land some shots. Camels are going to engage onto these war elephants, but he's kind of in a 1v2 right now. And this relies a lot on Sniper winning water, adding in some galleys. But he needs to win water. And I just realized something. Alright. There may have been some weird echo there. If that's the case, I apologize. It should be solved now. Korean war wagons starting to mass up, and now the Bolus Riders starting to probably be a little bit outclassed here, and Turfucks is going to get pushed back. He did delay quite a lot and has sniped quite a few villagers. 13 villagers. That is a lot of kills for Turfucks. Turfucks definitely hurting the Korean player significantly. Water War continues to go on. There's a lot of halberdiers down here. I don't know if that's all the halberdiers you want to go, but they did drag them away. And the Savar and elephants are kind of pressuring the front of the base. And, I mean, Germany kind of has to deal with the Persian death ball, adding in some arbalesters from the Byzantines. So it's going to be arbalests plus war elephants, which I don't know if Byzantines necessarily have the best arbalests. But, like, you put pretty much anything behind elephants and it's going to go well, except if they just face tank a bunch of siege launcher shots. So, losing a lot of arbalests is not really where we're going to be. But that's a lot of elephants coming forward, and now we have some rocket carts mixed into the middle. There's a very nice composition in the middle while Original is trying to defend on the top side, just kind of letting the war wagons and rocket carts do their work here. The Bolus Riders trying their best to get into this mass, but I mean, I think the Mapuche just aren't quite as strong as you're hoping they are, and there's a big death ball in the middle. We do see the halberdiers coming in from Sniper, trying to flank and deal with some of these elephants, but they're kind of ill-positioned, and the rocket carts are going to just lay waste to that entire squad if they get a good shot on. In the meantime, water is starting to get pushed back by Ula. I mean, there's a lot of Carracks and War Hulks back here for the Romans. But yeah, now Persian Elephants are going to swing over here a little bit. Scorpions are out for both Turfux and Sniper, and Turfux sending some Scorpions down to try to help with this. They both have heavy Scorpions, so they're going to clean this up, and the War Wagons are left a little bit exposed, so these Halberdiers are going to be able to snipe some of these War Wagons and deal with this. But the Elephants are now coming in to pressure the water and try to pressure this corner market. Luckily, the market hasn't necessarily gone up yet. The villagers haven't built their market. So there's nothing really, no trade to raid. The true counter to trade raids is not having trade in the first place. But this is a lot of War Elephants. And they have kind of overextended here a little bit. If this is cleaned up, this is going to be that the German team can counter quite significantly here. Ula winning water, having a better mix of fires and galleys. I mean, the Romans trying to struggle here a little bit. And yeah, Elephants are coming forward and taking a lot of splash damage, but they're not going to find much here. I mean, the markets are going up, and a few trade carts are here. But they're going to get sniped by these Elephants. So a little bit of damage will be done. Bolus Riders in the back, killing a lot more eco, up to 20 eco kills. So Turfux finding the damage where he can, but he's getting pushed by the Korean Deathball. The Mapuche just aren't able to stop the War Wagons. In the meantime, the middle is all Turfux, all Benanji. Once they clean up this corner of the War Elephants, it should go better. We have a villager trying to wall himself in from the Elephant Menace. This is terrifying if I was that villager. Yeah, you can ask Otter what his plan is. He can tell you, but, I mean, I know Ula was in the chat earlier. He's not in the chat right now. He better not be. But in Waters, being won by Ula. So this is a rough situation. I mean, there are some castles here to help pick away some of these units. This is where you need to add in some demos. Romans do get demos, right? I think all ships do get demos now. Yeah. Is you add in some demos in these big island fights, and it helps so much. We've seen it time and time again with USAA doing it, where they just mix in a few demos, and it does massive amount of damage, especially if you're pushed back to your docks and you just need to make any amount of ships. Like, adding 1 or 2 galleys isn't really going to help. Adding 1 or 2 demos and getting those hits on those close ships can do so much damage. Koreans on the top side, Death Ball really pressuring hard on the front of the base. A couple Trebs are forward and exposed. The Bolus Riders could snipe that if Turfux is paying attention. But no, he doesn't see it in time. And this Korean Death Ball continues to push forward. And Champy trying to flank. And the Champy are very good about this if they don't get killed by an attack ground. You need to change your stance a little bit. War Wagons will switch over to help defend them, but Champions are going to get some nice hits off on these rocket carts and help clean it up a little bit. But I think Turfux needs some help on the north side. Benanji probably needs to send some camels up there to deal with it. We do see some massive fights on the top side as the Bolus Riders continue to get more and more kills for Turfux. And they've decided that even if they lost water, they're going to go pressure the opponent's water area. No seaside properties here. Killing the docks is going to be huge. That means this water needs to be rebuilt at some point. So Sniper does have an opportunity to try to get back onto water. The Elephants have been cleaned up finally, so the trade can go up for Germany B. But the Germany B's biggest issue right now is that the Koreans are just deathballing on the top side, and Turfux alone with just the Mapuche cannot stop this. We need to see some camel support from Benanji to help deal with that. A forward castle's trying to go up. And with the camels coming in here, they're going to try to raid here. I don't think this has enough units. They're going to try to snipe some stuff here. Rockharts land some shots. Going to land some on the champions, but all the Trebs do go down, so at least the push does stall a little bit. Some good shots, but I think this should get at least cleaned up, if not slowed down. Looks like the top right raid has been cleaned up too. A lot of good damage from the German team, so this is turning into a bit of a slobber knocker. We do have Centurions out trying to fight the War Elephants and the Savars, but I don't think there's enough Centurions there to deal with that massive wall of meat. And they're going to start pressuring here. The couple nice Treb snipes from those hero halberdiers of Benanji. And in the meantime, yeah, I mean, they're just trying to clean this up. And the castle going up is going to make for the Trebs, allow for the Trebs to help support this a bit. And yeah, a lot of military went down trying to clean this up. And I mean, they did stop the Trebs, did get some good damage, but the reinforcements have come forward. And the War Wagon ball is still huge. Is Sniper going full boom or full sling? I don't think Sniper's going full sling, but I think he's just slinging a lot because he's losing water and doesn't have a lot of military. He's made quite a bit of military here, and like you just saw, all of his military got wiped out. So I don't think Sniper is. Yeah, the docks are up, unfortunately. So the Benanji play, as great as it was, doesn't look like it's lasting damage. Big attack here, but it's coming from the lower ground. Champy's trying to flank. They're going to snipe the Trebs again. Castle is going to stay up. And some shots are going to land, mostly on their own units, though. So Good retreat from the Koreans, and they're going to live to see another day. I mean, the rocket carts are gone, so it's just war wagons now. So some Trebs here to take out this forward castle would be huge to help prevent this push from reoccurring. But looks like the Korean menace has been stopped for now. In the meantime, a castle is going to war with rocket carts. So lucky for Benanji getting some free kills here. In the meantime, we do see a little bit of an elephant raid. More kills coming in for Siege. Siege up to 76 kills. No pressure from the Germany team, currently just trying to survive here. The Hamel's coming in to clean up these elephants. And yeah, the Koreans haven't pushed back. I mean, they did do quite a bit of damage. But it is gonna cost them a couple castles, which, you gotta delete those foundations. You attack this foundation first. You snipe that foundation before taking out that castle, because that's just a lot of free stone. But I think they're gonna get that kill anyways, so maybe no reaction from original. So that's gonna be some free stone that they just deny. And yeah, that's an unfortunate thing to just lose for free. But it looks like Germany stabilized a bit, though the Korean Death Ball is still dangerous. And I mean, it's going to be a continuous problem for Germany B that their top side flank Turfucks cannot beat Originals Koreans. I think we've just established that is going to be the issue. We see elite Konas, so once again, kind of the new civs trying to figure out what happened, what to play with these new civs. Konas, I mean, those did seem to last quite a bit for quite a few volleys. Don't know if it's going to be the play, but those worked a lot better than I thought. Like, they got in closer than I thought they would. So, there is some play there. Champy's going in to snipe the rocket carts. So the push is going to get stalled, and the villagers do get sniped here. Castle should go up, though. The Champies are getting a little bit distracted. But the Trebs are here to deal with this, and the Koreans are retreating, so that castle is also going to get denied. Villagers do get denied, so castle gets doubted at 83%. And if Original doesn't delete this castle, then that's more stone that they're stealing. And it looks like on the water, Sniper has cracked back. Sniper has reclaimed the water, has secured the areas. Dromans are out trying to hit these elephant masses. And, but the elephants continue to cause problems. Just like on the top side, the Mapuche can't really match the Koreans. The Romans can't match the Persians. So these elephants continue to just kind of go where they want. It is the classic paradigm of where does an 800-pound gorilla sleep? Wherever he wants to. And where does an 800-pound war elephant go? Wherever he wants to. Into your opponent's trade. Into your opponent's base. Not on the water, but once the elephants get some water wings, it's going to be very scary for everyone. But these elephants are going to be in the trade. We'll see if Germany B does react and tries to save their trade, or if these elephants are just going to decimate the eco. We do even see added in some cataphracts. So Ula mixing cataphracts with the elephants, and also Ula winning some water. I mean, I think this is going to get pushed back by Sniper. So water shouldn't be too big of a deal. But I mean, the problem is that Sniper has been on the back foot with water pretty much the entire game, so he hasn't really been able to use the water advantage in any time. So he hasn't been able to pressure. And we even have elephants pulling a Benanji and sniping the docks and the castles. Just war elephants, no siege needed, no support, and they're just going in and trying to deal with the docks to keep the water control in Pakistan's favor. In the meantime, the Mapuche have gone forward and sent the Trebs to snipe in openings. And so the castle wall is down. There is an opening. Villagers will probably go and try to re-wall that up with some castles and houses. But, I mean, this is some nice pressure from the Mapuche, being a little bit annoying, and making some forward production, some settlements to be maybe more secure in this. But we have Fire Lancers coming in with the war wagons starting the pressure, trying to snipe those Trebs. But all the action really is on the south side. Can Germany B hold on against the Byzantine and Persian menace? And it does not look good for Germany B. They have lost all their docks. They're losing the castle. The war elephants just non-stop just destroying everything. And it doesn't feel like Benanji's camels are doing enough to deal with these elephants. So water fully won by Ula. We'll see how much he takes advantage of it. If he starts adding some if he starts adding some fish, if he starts rain, I mean, he has the Dromans out and the castle does go down, so this trade is exposed. I would love to see, we need to see a mid-trade go up. I mean, there's cataphracts standing still in the trade. We do have the mid-trade going here, so that is nice. At least they have secured their trade. But, I mean, you've lost the corner. Can you come back from this? This is going to be an interesting situation. In the meantime, Mapuche are on here. We do see more elite Konas. Have 5 pierce armor against 13 attack, but I mean, they do have the speed. They do get their attacks. What do Konas even really do? Deals increasing damage to injured units. Okay, I guess. I'm not sure how I feel about them. They definitely didn't do well here into the massive amount of war wagons and rocket carts. And once again, Turfux is on the back foot trying to hold off this push, but it's gonna be bad. In the meantime, the push on the south corner is still going strong. Elephants and Dromans and everything, water fully controlled by Pakistan. And the question now becomes, like, what can Germany B do? They've kind of have two losing matchups here. Trying to trade on water and win the wood game? Yeah. At the very least, they just should... Yeah, here comes Ula. Knowing the meta, castle the corner. Make it very annoying to push back into this corner to expand your trade. And this gives you a very nice launching point. I mean, it'd be even better if the Persians got a castle down here, and you could just flood elephants through, so they didn't have to walk all the distance. But we're going to start seeing some Trebs probably. Yeah, Germany calls it. They're losing on the top side, losing on the south side. And they, unfortunately, will be going down 1-0 against Pakistan. So, GG from Pakistan. Opponents also have anti-gunpowder attack, which is useless in these matchups. Yeah, it was just... Sniper just never could hold off on his own. Benanji wasn't able to do enough to support against cataphracts and elephants. And the other problem was just Turf... Like, it'd be one thing if that was the case, but Turfux was able to win the matchup on the top side. This was just a bad matchup everywhere else. Do I want a co-caster, Keller? Sure. Let me hop into the Discord. Sure. Hello, Keller.
Hello.
How was your RM games?
I clapped.
Nice. Let's make sure your audio levels aren't too big. You were spiking a little bit, but I think it should be fine.
Okay.
Please
Let's
tell
hope
me.
so.
Yeah. All right. So interesting first match. Yeah, Keller, what are your opinions on Pool 4 being picked in such an important game?
I fully disagree with that. Also, not using Mongols on the only map where they really work, in my opinion.
Yeah, that does make sense. I was surprised by the Civ pick, I think. We saw, what, Romans? It does feel like it was kind of a, not a throwaway match, but maybe they're saving their strategies
It's a full
for...
throw. No. That was a throw.
Yeah.
But Pakistan wasted Koreans and we have islands, so islands should be a safe win for Germany B.
They did first pick it, so that kind of checks out. And yeah, burning the Koreans on with burning the Koreans and Persians at the same time is a pretty nice. Might cost you the game, but it sets you up pretty nicely for the long run.
I don't know. I still see the top three civs that Pakistan has remaining in Pool 2, and I see no way that Germany wins 2 more games.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have to win. Oh, 2 games after the Team Islands. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a cook. It might be an overcook, but it's definitely a bold strategy when it comes to it's such an important game. So I think of all the teams, Germany B has probably been doing the most like planning and like cooking and all that fun stuff. So, but yeah, it's that first game was I didn't. It's interesting to see like how Mapuche play and everything, but they just had no answer into the Koreans, just nothing. Like Champions,
Yeah, I think there was a like Pakistan could have played that better if they just pushed Koreans and Persians together. Then there's nothing they can do this like with the disjointed pushing and not playing together. They kind of dragged it out a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, it was. It felt like it was Pakistan's game to lose, and while they didn't lose, they didn't seem to play it to a point that like there was just no chance. Looks like they're recreating it. Looks like Otter has had enough and has tapped himself back in. I was a little shocked that he brought himself out for the first game, but we gotta believe in the captain.
I mean, if you sit out, like there are 4 players that want to play a lot, and if he sits out 1 game, then it makes a lot of sense for it to be Coast to Mountain because it's the map where the Aramas can shine.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's also just been, in my opinion, the most interesting map of the entire tournament. Uh, I think it's been the standout for most interesting games. So
I mean, that you can't really have a fast game on the map.
that's true.
I don't know if it's the most interesting.
From a viewer perspective, who's not a top DMer, I think it's just the different stratified areas at
I feel like
least.
from a viewer perspective, Vinland Saga has been the MVP. There were
Yeah,
some
that's a little
crazy
bit like
winners.
it's like that's like a dessert. Like that's like junk food where it's like
Yeah,
it's really good but it's short. Which like is its own, it's a good style. It's part of DM. But the Coast Mountain, it leads to such different, like you have essentially three little, like 2 to 3 games going on at the same time because there's different parts of the map that matter. And so I think that's why like the dynamics of the map are always so interesting.
yeah. So
Um,
far, I'm a big fan of the map pool. There's a
mm,
lot of variety that work. Like Team Islands works really surprisingly well, in my opinion. I thought it would go was going to be an absolute shit show.
mhm. I think Team
Um,
Islands is actually, out of all the maps, is probably the most instant stomp. I think like
yeah, yeah,
sometimes it's just like, ah, one team won water right away and that's game. Compared to Vinland Saga where it's like, oh, maybe there's some chances, like, yeah. So, but it is, yeah, I agree. Like I was kind of saying this before. I was like, I think Canyon Lake and Outcrop are actually like, and maybe Golden Lakes are the ones that I'm like, I could see swapping them out for something kind of similar. In my opinion, those ones don't feel like they play, like there's been good matches on them, but I don't think the good matches are because of the map style. I think those are just
yeah.
like they
Mm.
just feel like runestones with different flavoring, which is fine, but I would like to see a little bit more difference that adds some more variety, I think. So,
Hmm. I feel like we have enough variety in this map pool.
that's fair. As there's no hyper random, so not enough, there's never enough variety, right? So, um let's
Hyper random is a troll map.
see. I do love hyper random. It is one of my favorite things to play and cast. But from a competitive perspective, I'm just like, oof, yeah, it's not what you want to see as game 5 option for the grand finals and stuff. Yeah, Team Islands, like you said, is like Team Islands is either a really good match or the most boring match ever. Because it's not even like this is a good rush. It was just you just did better water right at the start and there's no recovering. So
Yeah. But I mean, the old DM water was even more brutal.
yeah, I do think, like, I am glad that it's not demo spam anymore. I do think the rumors of Demo's death has been greatly exaggerated. I've said this multiple times. USAA has shown that adding demos in, like, as part of the unit comp, you don't heavily rely on demos, but you add them in here and there, and it makes huge differences. And I don't think enough players have caught on to that fact that demos, while they suck compared to what they were before, are still really strong. And so I think that's something that I would love to see more of, is especially when you're like pushed back to your own docks and they're all going to get destroyed, instead of like trying to pump out galleon or two, you pump out a demo, hit a few things and trade. And so, but yeah, Team Islands is going
Hmm.
to be there. Let's look at the civs. So I mean, it's going to be Chinese, probably Spanish, and Shu from Germany B, would you say?
No, they're not gonna waste Chinese and Spanish here, I think.
Really on
Chinese alone should win this map.
That's true. So probably
So
save
Chinese
Spanish.
true Malay is probably the play here.
Okay. And then for Pakistan, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's just. I mean, we've seen this play out many times. It's Japanese, Byzantines, Italians, almost always, or
No,
Goths.
no, no,
Sorry,
no. They're
Italians.
gonna throw it. They're gonna do Italians, Goths, Muisca or something like that. They're gonna play the maybe not Goths because actually
They have
Zaria
Vinland.
likes Goths a lot.
Yeah,
But they're gonna play the three civs that they like the least here because I think they don't enjoy water maps.
yeah. They banned Golden Stream. And especially when your opponent picks Pool 4 and first picks Team Island, you kind of are like, okay, they've cooked up something for Team Islands. Just kind of let them have it and move on with your life. I mean, like you could play Byzantines here. You could play like Italians and Goths because like we've seen Muisca aren't as bad as people think. I mean, they're still kind of weak, but I know people have complained about Byzantines not doing anything. People complain about Italians and everything, and so it's like, and Japanese are pretty good, but actually no, Japanese don't have good water for DM. So what am I thinking? What's their water bonus? It's fishing ships are better, yeah, and higher HP. That's why they were good. And then line of sight.
And normally, I think you should go Koreans, Byzantines, Italians as food too, but they didn't.
Thank you for the raid,
They already
Mendingalingo.
used Koreans.
Yeah,
So
thank you for the raid, Mendingalingo. Hope your cast was fantastic. Hope the match, I mean, seeing as the match just finished, it sounds like the match probably was pretty good between Great Britain B and Mexico B. Even though that did take a while because they had to do an entire Game 5 Wood game on Team Islands for a different tournament beforehand, which was hilarious.
oh no.
And it was hilarious too because it was King Boo and all of Team Mexico was in that match. So it's not like one team was holding it up. It was just like, so they're just waiting on themselves. But looks like they started.
Starting.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do have spec delay on, or at least they did. Fuck. Thank you, Age of Empires. Having to exit and everything and blah. Team Islands. Here we go. So Sniper, Otter, and Benanji is the group.
Yeah, Chinese, Chu, Malay. Okay.
Chinese,
they
Chu,
are
Malay.
using Japanese here.
Interesting.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I feel like
that's gonna bite them on land maps.
Yeah, the Japanese are better on water for RM, but for DM, it feels like they just don't get any useful bonuses. Let's see if Otter learned anything from the pro island players, the French. I mean, the French did have some bangers on that map for sure. But all right, welcome to just start. You want to catch up to live? I mean,
We can just do
live.
live. We can also
all right.
pause.
Perfect. No, we're live. All right, welcome to game 2. Germany B is behind on against Pakistan. Germany B is playing, or Pakistan in the teal is Ula playing the Japanese, Siege playing the Byzantines, and Original playing the Italians. If you want to introduce your fellow country folks.
We have Otter with Shu. He's doing back dogs. Obviously, great idea with Shu because you want the Luchuans out. Then we have Sniper with Malay doing forward dogs, which works really well because you have the harbors. And then Chinese also forward dogs because you start with more wilds and you have the fast dragon ship start. On the other side, kind of really bad map, really shit map for Zariab original. Is it entire wood, like a gigantic woodline in front of his base?
Oh wow, yeah, that's very unfortunate. Yeah, I think Pasta was saying in chat that there's been some bad island gens, so might be something we need to improve for a future iteration. Because yeah, some of these wood gens can be atrocious. Yeah, Turfox is in chats, and I know Turfox was the one who worked on this map. So look at your shame. Look at your shame.
Getting a map win instantly for his own team. Classic admin behavior.
Just the admin abuse. But it looks like there's a little bit of skirmishing going on. Navies haven't gotten fully there. I mean, looks like the Italians are doing decent against these dragon ships so far, which is a little bit shocking because, like we say, Chinese should win this pretty handedly, but mix of Carracks and fire ships and galleons.
They start winning it really strongly when the Luchuan get mixed in, and now we have them, and I think it's gonna snowball on this side.
It's only Luchans from the shoe. There's no forward meat shield or anything, which I guess you could probably get away with only Luchans. But I always feel like, you know, the whole point of the water changes was that you're supposed to have multiple water units nowadays. But Otter going straight Luchans, no fire ships, no Carracks, no front line.
Yeah, I think the standard water rework works really well, but some unique ships are insanely overpowered, like Luchuan, like Turtle Ship.
Yeah. Especially with this option, Otter just sniped like 4 docks from original, so that's going to help slow it down. He's trying to rebuild along the front lines, and looks like Sniper is, I think, winning the front side of the middle war. I mean, it's galleons versus galleons, so, and some fire ships.
I feel like the middle is the only place where they are holding. The
Yeah,
flanks are looking really bad for Team
yeah.
Pakistan.
The Chinese, they got their Luchans out, they got their Dragon ships up front, and they are starting to crumble. I think Ula needed to do enough damage that he could go help support the middle before the Chinese ball got rolling, but it's so hard to do that against the Chinese on Team Islands. And yeah, just
We have
mass
two
Luchans.
Luchans on the right side and 50 on the left side. I don't think there's anything in this game that could win this.
No,
Except maybe turtle ships or George and Luchuan, but you aren't allowed to play them because they crashed the
unfortunately.
game.
Yep. I know, it's been very, very sad that Luchans aren't able to be played in. There are some demos being mixed in, which is nice, taking out a lot of HP on these fire ships.
Yeah, that's really,
Unfortunately,
I think that's really sad for my team, especially because I think we were the first team to discover that the Luchans of Urchins were so strong on water. But then they crashed our practice games and we did a bit of investigating and they crashed everything.
that was
So.
definitely a fun day where we had like 15 Rex posted, and I was like, oh Jesus. So luckily we figured out, and we're like, okay, what do we do? And yeah, it was a whole bunch of discussions, but I think we got to a point where it works. So hasn't had any
Yeah,
issues since. And with how much people are
it's
picking Pool 2, it is nice that it's maybe Pool 2 gets a little bit of a nerf in that way, right? Balances
and
it
it's not
out.
like Urchins is a bad landciv. So
Right. Oh yeah. Looks like we got a nice little flank attack from Original, but there's all the galleons from Sniper are coming over, so it looks like Sniper and Otter have kind of swapped places. Otter's going to worry about ranging all the buildings in front of this horrible forest wall, and yeah, now the Chinese are also collapsing on them and pushing around the back. This is also one of those weird gens where it has those really forward, like, out there peninsulas, which make, you know, map control really weird once you start losing some ground. But that's a pretty quick game. I think that's kind of
what
how
hotkey do
everyone's...
I have to press to change the settings? What gets shown on the left side in the in-game chat?
I believe that is page up or page down. Yeah, it's page up,
Page.
and then there's buttons
Ah.
that you can choose.
Yep, yep. Thank you.
So I'm still relatively novice at using capture age, so something I need to work on for sure. But yeah, I think Germany B pretty much between picking this map and picking Pool 4 had kind of guaranteed that they would win this map, and I don't think that's too much of a
Yes.
surprise to anyone. So we come back to three a three
And with
game.
Pakistan not using Koreans on this map, which could maybe
It
win
would have
against the
been interesting.
Luchuans.
Yeah. I
But like I don't think it works against double Luchuan and Chinese Luchuan is also really strong.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
It's I think Koreans could have matched up against one or the other, and that would have been fine,
yeah.
but I think the other two players would have been struggling too much. But that did cost them a Japanese. That is another expensive pick for Pakistan, I feel like. So, it was Japanese, Byzantines, and Italians. No.
Yeah, Japanese, Byzantines, Italians.
Okay. And then it was Shu, Chinese, and Malay. So yeah, a lot more of a condensed use of the bottom of their Civ pool for Germany B. They've gotten all but the second Romans out from their bottom row, whereas Pakistan has used 4 of their top 10 civs, you could argue, um, and still have the Lithuanians, Goths, and Muisca to deal with at some point. So
Yeah, but you still have Slavs, Urchins, Gujaras,
and you have Vinland
Vietnamese as
Saga.
well,
Yeah, you have Vinland Saga probably next.
Lithuanians, Goths for Vinland Saga, yep.
No Byzantines though for Kawasan, which I feel like you want some decent water to fight over for the ponds. Um,
Yeah, it feels like the Civ picks of Pakistan could use a little bit of work.
yeah, I think they go a little heavy when they shouldn't.
Yeah.
They might just not be on board with the quote unquote throwing matches, which I do appreciate. But like Persians, Koreans in your first in Coast to Mountain is expensive. Japanese in Team Islands when you're going up against like the water comp is pretty dangerous. Like it'd be more understandable if you had the Japanese there and you had Koreans alongside them. But like the
Yeah.
Japanese trebs are just so good, and like Pakistan's good enough to utilize the Japanese trebs to their full extent, right? So, so yeah, we're gonna be going somewhere else, not Team Islands, for another time. I'm sure this would have been worthy of a re. I could I could see the argument that that's a restartable
I
map.
remember a long argument that Otter had with other admins about a similar situation where one of the pawns on immersion got blocked
Mm,
for him. So
yeah.
Otter should be in favor of a restart here.
I don't know if, like, I mean the problem there is he probably had no idea until later.
Yeah.
But I think that would have been one that would have been worth a discussion. No re was called, so it's not an issue, right? Like, let me just double check. Yeah, they would have had a pause mid game, but yeah, those are always the weird ones of like, is that a bug map? And I think that's one that needs a little bit more discussion. But I'm not playing, so it's not my opinion that matters. But yeah, Otter would have put pause for sure if he had that wood line. I think that's a very good argument that like if that was Otter's wood line, he would have been like, yeah, not good. I want to re. But
Mhm. But I think you can make the argument that you can just do back dogs
true.
because it is super close backwater and maybe that's even an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It does make though that like you have that entire open area that's landable and you can't really put
Yeah,
stuff
true.
there. So it's I think a thing that like isn't real, especially like in RM it's one thing, but like in DM I feel like you're kind of need the openness there on the island to go where you need to,
Yeah.
and I think that could definitely lead to problems that I think would be arguable. So, but that didn't happen, and also even with a re, I don't think that would have changed the
Yeah,
result
as
too
Team
much.
Pakistan, I don't think you should bother with trying to read that matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you definitely could have, but like it's one of those like you catch it after the fact, and you're just like, oh well, doesn't really make much of a difference. Um, what's up, Boomstick? Boom, it is 1-1. So it is currently 1-1. Looks like Turfuck's subbing in for Benanji. I saw Sniper in there for a second, but
Still discussing who gets subbed in.
yeah, it is interesting because it's like there's some teams where it's like the top three are very obvious, and like you might play another person just for when you're up 2-0 or something for fun or something. But there are some teams where it's like, oh no, like everyone there is a solid player and has different
Yeah.
preferences. Like USAA, I
I
think is the best
think
example where it's like, oh, is there a map where trade raids are going to be the meta? Put Leash in with some Cav Archer Civ and let him go wild in the trade. Um, if it's like Team Islands, maybe you don't need Leash there. So Sniper's relaxing on a bench. What's up, Sniper?
okay. Oh, AR12 gets subbed in. I'm
AR12
hyped.
is playing excellent.
My goat.
Now we're seeing the full breadth of Germany B. That's exciting. Right, that'll be everyone. Yeah, Turfuck, Sniper, Otter, Benanji,
I
AR12.
think Germany B is the team with the closest skill gap between their players. I wouldn't even know who's the best player and who's the worst. Like you could argue for Otter as the best player, I think.
He definitely plays the most.
Um, Especially on the hybrid maps and on the closer, like the Russia maps.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could argue
But
USAA is
everyone
also,
else is, yeah.
yeah.
I think in United States there are some weaker players than the others.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think True and Favorite are a decent amount better than the rest.
Well, True only gets the trash sieves from what we've been seeing, so
I
he's been playing.
think
He's the
so
Maya
far
fanboy.
they've not tried hard. They had three O's. Mm. I'm not sure what their plan is for when they face a similar skilled opponent.
Mm-hmm. No custom. So it is going to be Vinland Saga. So I expect to see Probably Slavs and like probably not like. Do you play tunes here?
No.
No, even with the Slavs
I think
bonus.
Slavs Goths can work really
Oh, and
well.
just got. You can even throw in Muisca here, and just full infantry rush down.
Hmm.
It'd be risky though.
I
You're
think
pretty much going
the
for the all
remaining
in.
3 maps, you want to use Goths here.
You do want to use Goths or don't?
Yeah, you do want to use Goths
Yeah.
on this map.
Do you burn?
With
I
the
mean, do you
remaining
burn
maps.
the Slavs as well? Because like this is the Slav map, or do you try to save the
I,
Slavs
I
for a
think
later one?
Slav Goth and whatever. Like Goths for the start and then Slavs for the carrying.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, slots with the team bonus for the Goths is pretty
Yeah.
nutty too. So, um, probably won't see Jurchens
True.
or.
They lost islands because they didn't know how water worked and
And then they
produced
learned really quick.
transport ships.
Yeah. Um, Germany B. I mean, do you just throw the Romans away and Burmese away? Like,
Mm.
I don't want. I don't think you really want to throw a game at this point, right? But it's started, so we can see what the choices are. We're gonna see the Mongols.
Wow, that's interesting.
There's something
Okay,
cooking
they,
here. I
they
mean,
definitely
yeah.
expected the Goths with those flanks because Romans and Burmese are both counters to Goths.
But no Goths to be seen. We have the Slavs, we have the Vietnamese, and we have the Muisca. So we are going to see the Muisca, which like Muisca have been better than a lot of people expected. And I don't know if I've necessarily seen them do well on Vinland Saga, but they at least don't fold like wet paper like people expected. And then Mongols, Burmese, and Romans. So yeah, definitely expecting the Goth to deal with Goth, but without the Goths being there, like is Germany B kind of going to struggle here?
I would favor the Pakistani civs a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
It depends a bit on the matchups because Burmese Muisca is an interesting one. Um, where Burmese with Champ Elephant could just overrun.
Yeah. At the same time, it is
So
like it could just be a Slavs game, right? Where it's just like over in 5 minutes and there's no stopping the
and
Slavs.
Vietnamese pocket against Mongols could also just focus fully with full elephant onto the pocket. And I don't think the Mongols ever get to anything in that case.
Mm-hmm. They just do step lancer rushes the entire time. But
Mm,
all right, game three underway. It is evened up 1-1. Vinland Saga, Pakistan's home map. Ula in the teal with Muisca. His pocket of siege playing the Vietnamese, and original with on the top with the Slavs.
okay, and we have Slavs against Burmese. Not the matchup I talked about
Yep.
before.
Otter playing the Burmese, AR-12 in the pocket with the Mongols, and Lord Topherfuck's playing the Romans on the south side. So it's going to be Romans, Muisca, and Burmese, Slavs, and then Mongols raiding wherever they can. Otter already
Romans,
picking off a Vil, so that's huge.
yeah, and Romans should do really well as well, whereas Muisca. Maybe they scouted something and knew there was the Muisca pick on this map. So they picked 2 counter civs to Muisca.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of hope that the other side can somehow survive the Slavs.
Yeah, I mean, if it can get into a 2v2 or like a 2v1 and a 1v2 and like Turfox can hold, then there's some chances. It is going to be a question of like how much support does the south side get and how much support does the north. I think it's really going to be a matter of where the pockets go for each side. We already see the elephants coming down to help support the Muisca. And I mean, we also see the Mongols sending their step lancers forward to try to rush down. I don't know really where they're going, but it's going to be, I think, just a 1v1 on the top side. So it's going to be up to Otter to survive the Slav onslaught.
Yeah, that's gonna be really hard here. But we see a lot of Halberdiers for original and full champ play from Otter. So the early game should be fine for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
On the bottom side, we go full Legionary Scorpion here. I think that's gonna struggle a lot against the first elephant mass coming in.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the Mongols support here. They need to switch into some camels and siege. So there's going to
Mongols
be...
is so wild here. I feel like you just aren't fast enough to help anyone. It's such a fast-paced map, and you kind of pick the slowest Civ in the game.
It's still shocking that they didn't play them on Coast to Mountain. Like, I get what the strategy was, but yeah, now it's a matter of can AR-12 survive, help Turfwatch survive the elephant onslaught, and it's gonna be dicey. I mean, there's a lot of legionaries pushing these elephants back, and
at least the first push was held here.
Oh, but on the north side, the Slavs are, even with that very first fight going Otter's way, it's already on his base. It is.
And we see a lot of scorpions here for Zeri. Original, sorry. I'm used to calling him Zeri because he's my teammate. Yeah, that just fully counters the champ opening from Otter. We don't see any elephant or a lot of elephants yet, which maybe could do something here, but this is looking really rough on top.
Yeah, and the south side just isn't going well. It's just not going well enough that they can, that the Mongol player can get going. Yeah, the Mongols are just too slow at getting started. Once they get going, they're going to be really strong here. But
I mean, we are seeing like 15 as own now here. Maybe this is just gonna destroy the whole map. You never know with Mongols.
That's true.
They could always just 3v1 the game.
When there's a siege onager, there's a way. I always like to say, but it's gonna be dicey.
And we see with onager elephant on the top kind of clear up for Otter here, so at least he holds on for now.
It is nice that I think Otter can at least rely on not needing to get damaged. Like, he knows he doesn't have to beat original here. I think he just has to survive long enough that the Mongols can get going and the south side can start winning. I don't think he needs to ever really be on taking an aggressive step. Like, he can push a little bit, but I don't think he needs to ever worry about trying to extend and trying to get some actual damage. He just needs to hold on. So we do see
now we see the elephants just ignoring the onager shots and trying to move in here.
Yeah,
but that's the nice thing about onagers from Mongols. You can just drive away, and now this is looking really good on the bottom side for Team Germany. And on the top side, the Slavs.
AR-12 adding in some reinforcements on the top side. So AR-12's microing in two different places, helping with the siege onagers. And I mean, 2v1ing against Slavs can help immensely. Oh, there's some big onager shots I missed. Whoops.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're kind of constant on the bottom here.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have the siege Ferraris, as people like to joke. I mean, the siege onagers on the south side have kind of gotten cleaned up for the most part, at least the ones that are directly attacking, but that's all the elephants done, all the Rattan, or not the Rattan archers, but yeah, the Rattan archers also got cleaned up, the Muisca getting pushed back a little bit, and Otter not currently being pressured, actually being able to take out a castle.
And with Otter kind of holding back his res at the start with not doing any elephants, now his elephant army maybe can make something happen on top here.
We may have been too critical. Germany B might be cooking, though the elephants are now starting to pressure the middle of the map. Elephants, not a lot here, and there's some camels and some Mangudai here to try to deal with this, but they're just going to get some random villager picks here and there, so some nice little raids from Siege, getting what damage he can. But the push on both sides...
kind of stabilized now. We get like the first kind of 50-50 game on this map I've ever seen. I mean, if you look at population, it's looking really good for Team Germany. But that can change really fast.
Another castle taken down, but I mean, now that it's 2v1 against the Slavs, Otter has a chance. He is holding his elephants back.
And we get pretty much a clear up here,
yeah.
I think.
The double onagers with some Mangudai snipes.
And he still hasn't really used his elephants, and if you clear the army of your opponent, and then you still have 30-40 elephants left.
That's a big deal, yes.
Always really hard to clear, because you need like a full army to deal with elephants, but if you are getting pushed, then you can't really wait for your army to get back up after you once got cleared by elephants.
And the elephant raid in the middle has kind of gotten cleared up. Siege did find 19 Vil kills, so that's pretty nice. And only 3 Trebs to pressure these castles of original in the top side, so maybe another 1 or 2 would be really nice here, but the elephants are going to start coming forward, and there's really not a lot for original to deal with this right now, especially because I think Siege kind of has to help support in the south side with Ula. he's not able to help send anything up north. So even just mixing in a few siege onagers from the Mongols, mixing in a few Mangudai here and there, just to help turn the tides of some battles, is just massive. And Otter now starting to get a little bit of some, not the best engagements, as the onagers of the Slavs are landing some really nice shots. But they are pushing it back quite a bit, and one castle's gone down, a second one probably will go down as well. So, and Otter's push has taken out the front line, so the honors are falling to the elephants. These elephants are getting cleared up, so nice push from Otter, finding some damage and securing his like front. So this is gonna allow, I think, AR-12 to either help out a little bit more on the top side, or just fully focus on trying to win in the south side.
AR-12 is now kind of focusing on a big middle push here. Turfox kind of got pushed back again, is looking really even on the bottom. But the big army right now is just 20 onagers in the middle with 20 Mangudai.
Yeah, I think
but we don't really have enough traps there right now.
Yeah, I think right now, if both flanks can just maintain a stable position with some support here and there, Germany B can just win in the middle. Because I think with AR-12 kind of using his mobility to help both flanks here and there and just keep the Pakistan on the back foot, if he can start ranging some of these castles and trebs, start pressuring a little bit, and start clearing up this middle expansion, then I think it's just with how the flanks are going, I think Germany B is positioned really well here. There's not a lot of army for the Slavs. It's mostly just a couple siege onagers and some halberdiers coming in to try to meat shield a little bit. But this is a very good. We do see some Aaron by
he is going to be in some trouble here against Elephant. And Elephant Mangudai, obviously one of the strongest unit combinations in the game.
Oh, yeah. Really good.
But we see some really, really nice SO shots here.
Yeah.
So I guess...
that's one way.
Maybe he can... Like, the top is not looking like Otter can push this super fast.
Otter has to make sure not to overextend.
Different here. We've seen like 30 pikemen get flattened. Only pikemen though, so not that big of an issue.
Yeah.
But the Mongol army is still super scary here.
Yeah, I think Otter's strategy hasn't really been necessarily like he is getting some ground and stuff, but I think his plan is just continue to trade with the Slavs enough that the Slavs never can get their death ball going, even if that means Otter won't find much damage. It just keeps the Slavs on the back foot that he doesn't have to worry about getting rolled. And I think, as we're seeing, the Mongols plus Romans is better than the Vietnamese plus Muisca. And that push on the south side is starting to actually bear some really good value. They're starting to take out some bases, some stuff in the home base of Ula. The middle hasn't been pressured at all. I mean, but Siege isn't ranging any of the base of Germany B and is forced to keep all the elephants back home trying to stop this push. So it's going to be a matter of...
This is a really tough army here for Team Pakistan to deal with from Germany at the bottom, with a lot of Mongol army and a lot of Roman army to deal with potential elephants, and then the Mongol army to deal with the Muisca. But we lost most of the siege onagers now, so maybe Team Pakistan can get a decent engagement now to clear this up.
Yeah, Pakistan, like, those halberdiers are incredibly important here, and I think it's going to cost them their trebs to clear, like, just to survive this, which I think is a fine trade, but it's very dangerous. Oh, that's
cost
bad.
Them nearly everything.
Yeah, that is a very bad onager shot. So, very nice
now,
cleanup.
Push on the top is starting again?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we've seen is just AR-12, just once the Mongols get rolling, they can just be like, oh, you're in a stalemate in your flank. Here's 10 Mangudai. All of a sudden, 10 Mangudai and a couple siege onagers, all of a sudden they win that fight. So it's just, there's been no support for Original this entire game. He's been on his own the entire time, so anytime AR-12 is able to come over here and help, it just means that he's 1v2ing and has had no support. So Elephant's chasing down some siege onagers, but Otter has way too many trebs now. He's going to start taking out all these buildings of the Slav home base. So who knew that Slavs would get defeated or would be on the back foot the most? But really good push from Otter.
Yeah, really big pop troubles now for Ulla mainly. He's on 40 population right now. And Original as well, kind of running into the elephant problem right now. And all his units that pop out just get instantly overrun by elephants, because one-on-one against every single unit in the game, elephant will always win. And with some slight Mongol support here, it looks like original just can't deal with the Burmese.
Yeah. The Siege did get some nice elephant raids in the middle, getting up to, 47 villager kills and causing a little bit of problems, but it's just, yeah, it looks like Pakistan might lose their home map with the Slavs, which is crazy. Surviving that first push and keeping the elephants in the back for Otter was
Yeah, I
such a
think
huge
just
win.
insane micro from AR12 saved them the game in the first like 5 minutes because he just killed 40 elephants with his SO. And that's how they dealt with the first elephant push. That happened on Fuchs's base.
Yeah, Muisca is too shit, is what Boomstick's saying, which, like, we've said Muisca are better than people expected, but they are definitely still one of the weaker civs, and if you don't have good support there,
They are insanely hard to play, in my opinion,
yeah.
because they are so expensive for an infantry civ with the Temple Guard. And they struggle a lot against really strong champ civs.
I think you just have to be the aggressor with the Muisca. If the Muisca are on the back foot, it is so hard to come back from being behind with the Muisca. Muisca kind of have to get the early victory and just continue to apply pressure, which a lot of a lot of civs can say that they're in that good spot good, but I think Muisca with the advantage are really strong, but on the back foot they're not, and Germany B steals a game that I think a lot of people here, including both of us, were counting them out for.
Yeah, I think the civ choices really worked out here for Team Germany. Um, it was just such a close thing to dying on the bottom against elephants.
I'm just looking at the open for AR12 and see how so is like castle, 3 stables into 2 siege workshops. So rushing those siege workshops really quickly definitely mattered a lot here. But yeah, well done from Germany B. Taking out, I mean,
I
Slavs
think
on
this
Vinland
could be
Saga.
like seed 8 against seed 10 or something like that, Terz.
Oh yeah,
So
like
they aren't really favorites.
yeah, the pool F going into it was jokingly the least high seeded, but also the most balanced. Whereas like
Yeah.
Arabian, I think underperformed a little bit, which is I think people put a little bit too much expectations on them. But it was definitely like you said is Pakistan was one of the lower top seeds, but still very good, and Germany B was one of the top second seeds. So it was we knew this was going to be a banger matchup when it happened, and I'm glad it's the final one and the decider. Hamza's playing with Frost 9 right now. Love to see it.
Maybe Frost learned
I
something.
was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, big carry here from AR12, I would say. So the
I mean,
benching of Sniper worked definitely for the team.
That's true. I mean, I also would argue almost that like I think the biggest thing there was Otter surviving the Slav onslaught at the beginning with not a lot of support. I
Yeah,
think.
I feel like but he kind of got saved by some onagers from AR12 here.
Yeah, it definitely helped immensely then, but like I think he at least bought
Like
himself
they
enough
were
time.
like Germany was getting pushed at the bottom. AR12 comes in, saves the day. Otter is getting pushed at the top. Um, and AR12 comes in and saves the day. So
No, yeah, he was definitely everywhere he needed to be. I just don't think not to be a fanboy of Otter or anything like that, but I think you got to give him some
Otter also
credit that
played it
he.
really well,
Oh yeah,
obviously. Like
he
he got
held
in a
that.
decent position early on. He saved his resources for after the pocket came in and gave him the opportunity to start pushing. Like
Mhm.
he played his position perfectly.
Yeah, every time he was
Because
able to get support and push, he was
yeah,
ready with the push to like push back and do some damage with the support of AR12. And then once AR12 was able to dip out and go help the south side, he knew to kind of fall back just a little bit and not overextend. So,
yeah.
but yeah, AR12 was the MVP there. Like Mongols are slow getting going, but once they get going, you can see there, especially on the small map where mobility is just so key in being able to be everywhere at once. that
I
it
feel
can
like
just
just
do so much.
everyone on Team Germany knew exactly what the game plan is, and they executed this pretty perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. I wonder if they had done Goths instead of Muisca, would it have been any different?
Hmm. Goth kind of get countered by both Romans and Burmese
Yeah,
with the strong champion from both civs.
that's true. All right, so
And the step lancers
Mongols.
at the start, obviously, also really strong against infantry.
Mm-hmm. But once again, we do see some quote unquote weaker civs for the Germany B being played between the Romans and the Burmese. Like, they're not that weak, but definitely still has
And
plenty of
now
power civs
I
in their
kind of
day.
like how the rest of the civs look like for Team Germany.
Yeah, it definitely is a. I think Germany B has definitely the advantage going for the last two matches.
I'm
Churches and
not sure
Gajars
if
are
I
really
would
strong.
even like if I would say advantage. They still have Wei, they still have Malians. And Georgians is probably the best civ remaining. Gujaras is still remaining as a
Mm-hmm.
top civ.
Japanese are really strong. Teutons can be solid if they get going. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a free matchup win at this point,
It
but I
should
think
be two really close matches now.
yeah, I think the concerns with Pool 4, they managed to play out from the argued weakness of Pool 4 and winning a couple
Yeah.
key winning Vinland Saga I think has kind of saved their draft.
Yeah.
And also doing a throwaway game 1 against the Persians and Koreans helped them immensely. So they're in a much better spot than I think most pool matchups would go. So scouting, planning, all that's looking
Yeah,
very good
I
for
think
Germany.
in the pre-tournament analysis we did of the group, I said Team Germany B are the chef cooks
Oh, they've
of
been
this
cooking.
tournament,
Yeah.
and it is really showing here.
Yeah, out of everyone, I know they've been strategizing, they've been practicing a whole bunch. Like, not saying that others aren't taking the tournament as seriously, but I think Germany B has been the most like. I mean, granted, they have two active admins, one former admin on their team, so they all take very great pride in the tournaments, and they have been cooking nonstop. And I think they've been
I
putting in
think
more
also
effort than
just
anyone else.
5 pretty committed players is
Yes.
really nice for training.
Mm-hmm.
They can pretty much train any day, I think, because they just get 3 players together most evenings when they get to playing.
Yeah, and like you said, they're all relatively even,
Yeah,
not necessarily fully even, but like they're all like we've seen all of them play in matches and all do well. So even if you're
they
like,
they are super even in skill, but they still have like distinct profiles with AR12, with the really good SO micro we've seen, with Benanji, the super strong game one from him,
mm-hmm,
with with a really bad civ.
yeah. So it's
Mm,
just like you were saying, it is you if you're because it's one thing. It's like if you have let's just say like Viper is way like your team is very solid, but if it was Viper was the only
yeah.
player that mattered on your team and he's not available for practice, then is your practice really like that beneficial? And so having three players who you can play always any of your players be able to make practices and practice means that you're going to get so much more practice reps in than most teams. So Otter One, Sniper, and Benanji are going to be played on Canyon Lake. How are we feeling for civs for Canyon Lake? Um,
Think Bengali could be really strong here.
let's see. The fifth map is going to be Kawasan, so keep that in mind.
Bengali Spanish are also really nice on Kawasan
Mm-hmm. I
for
could
the
see.
super fast start and the instant docking. That's really strong on Kawasan for those two civs. So maybe we see Bohemian Sicilians and then Malians or Wei, I think is pretty interchangeable as the pockets.
Yeah, could you see like a Sicilians Malians way as a throwaway game for game fours, expecting
I
Pakistan to
think
use
you
like
want
Georgians,
Bengali
Gujaras?
flank on Kawasan and not Bengali pocket. So they need Malians or Wei as the pocket on Kawasan.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
Bohemian Sicilians is pretty surely gonna be the play here. And then I would go Wei as the weaker Civ, and then you get Malians for the last game. But
I didn't
It's
do
not
my
like there's a big difference
predictions.
between Mali and Pocket and Way Pocket.
Who wins?
Then I would guess Japanese Teutons. I don't really like the remaining civs here for Pakistan. Maybe Govs, Teutons, Lithuanians or something? Yeah.
They definitely have lost the Civ pick matchup. That's for sure. I think Germany B has kind
Yeah.
of out drafted
Definitely
them.
outcooked them.
Yeah, that is for sure. I am interested to see how the like where like if the Mongols was just like a super pre-planned strategy or if it was just like a kind of moment of how they chose to do it.
It seemed very I like the Civ choices in that game seemed very prepared because they worked so well together. All of the Civs for Team Germany in the last game. I think they must have thought about that before.
That makes sense. I'm wondering if they're gonna take a few minutes or so. If I should run an ad. I don't think I need to, but should be fine. I actually don't know how to even do that. Not the best streamer here. Um, yeah,
No judgment.
it's yeah, it is definitely having Goths and Lithuanians and Teutons still remaining for two maps feels pretty like not where you want to be.
Golf is just like the throwaway pick, right? You kind
Mm-hmm.
of need to win now, but do you really want to play Goths in the final match?
It could be one of those where you do like Goths with like Jurchens and Gujaras or something. Like you just pair them with like your
Yeah.
two most
Yeah.
powerful ones and try to get a mid civ for the final one. I think they needed to play Goths in Vinland. I think that was kind
Yeah.
of a mistake. If they had Vietnamese instead of the Goths here, I feel like they'd be in such a better position. Or
Yeah.
maybe not Muisca, but
Even with Muisca, I would say they're in a better spot.
mhm.
Because like Spanish, Bengalis, Sicilians, those are all not really civs you can kill.
Oh, the MVP is here. AR12 GG's in that game. We did not expect.
Carrying one game and not playing again.
He shows up, does exactly one thing, leaves, does not answer questions. It was yeah, we did not have the most faith in the Mongol pocket and y'all played it really well, so it was an impressive victory and I think definitely stealing a game where I don't think kind of with especially with Vinland Saga being Pakistan's first pick definitely means that stealing that game is huge. So looks like they are starting. Oh god, every time.
Just always instantly leave the
I
match.
always mean to, and then I'm like, oh, I need to go remember what the civs are and stuff. So all right,
Okay. Bengalis here as pocket. Okay.
Bohemians and Sicilians. So they're using three of their
So
top civs. So
Germanian. Oh, that's interesting.
versus
That they
Lithuanians,
are not
Japanese, and
saving
Teutons.
Bengalis for the last
They
game.
don't want it to go to game five. It looks like
They
they're
want
trying to catch.
Malians flank for the last. Oh, that's. I don't know. But I've been doubting their Civ choices a
Yeah, they've
bit
been
every
cooking.
game, and they worked. So
If we're not the ones cooking, we got to stay out of the kitchen. So we'll see what the the result is. But yeah, Japanese, Lithuanians, Teutons. That definitely doesn't feel great. But I mean, they do. That does mean that they get the Gajara and Gajara Jurchens if they win this game. So Germany B
yeah.
kind of needs to win this map.
But the Civs here are very even, I would say. With a
Yeah,
I would slightly prefer Team Pakistan Civs. For
they do
Germany, it
feel all
really
around.
depends a lot on the Bengali because you don't have the mobility. You kind of need to win wherever the Bengali is.
Yeah, and it's always going to be the consistent question we've had about the Sicilians, where they feel so underpowered in team games compared to 1v1s, and it's just like I don't know the Don Johns haven't really been showing up as much as we expected. So we'll see kind of if the Sicilians can show up, but they've been
Donjon's
underwhelming.
not the greatest thing against Japanese, for example. They just get destroyed instantly.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to Game 4. Germany B trying to win it and skip a Game 5. Pakistan trying to continue it and go to Game 5. Sniper in the yellow with the Bengalis on the flank. His pocket is Otter. Or no, he is the pocket. Otter is the flank with Sicilians and Benanji with Bohemians on Team Pakistan trying to force a Game 5, but he's going to lose a villager early. No, saves it just in time. Is Ula with the Teutons. We have Siege as a pocket Lithuanians and Original as the Japanese flank. Japanese versus Sicilians and Teutons versus Bohemians.
It's a really, really good matchup for Japanese, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The Trebuchet is just pretty much... You have the better infantry against an infantry civ. You have the CA that pretty much have now counter from Sicilians. And your traps pretty much make the donjon spam useless.
It really matters if it's going to be, a question of how good is the siege. Like, there's no siege bonus or anything, but they do have full siege onager and everything. So I think Sicilians are going to rely heavily on their siege onagers to win some fights here. But yeah, they are. This matchup is not going the way I think that Germany B was hoping it would.
And on the top as well, Bohemians against Teutons. Again, not a great matchup for Bohemians because you would want to go full Haufnitze normally, not a single trebuchet, but your Haufnitze get outranged by the Teuton castles.
I mean, the gunpowder for the Bohemians will be nice here. Like the Hussite wagons are going to do pretty well into the Teuton infantry. I'm assuming we'll have to see some Teuton paladins show up, and there's stables, so we'll be seeing some of those. In the meantime, big fight in the south side as Siege is sending forward the paladins and some cav archers. The elephants of Sniper are arriving to the fight, and looks like it's just going to be kind of a standard 1v1 on the top side and 2v2 on the bottom side, and we'll see where it kind of goes from there. There's a lot of cav archers on the south side, so I mean, if there's not enough front lines from the south from Team Pakistan here, those cav archers could just be ineffective against elephants and Siege. But it's going. If
you get to 150 cav archers or even the Japanese halberdiers, then the elephant still won't really do that much.
Mm-hmm. Some good shots on that the random squad of cav archers trying to go and snipe some villagers. So those have been weakened up, and looks like the initial push has been denied by the Germany B. So a little bit of a moment of respite, but that castle in the middle is kind of going up. And we do see docks out of Sniper. So going to get some early water control and probably maybe get a cannon galleon or two and start hitting these castles in the middle.
Cannon galleons, I like that a lot.
I feel like
just map control.
Yeah, I feel like the water on this map is one of the things I've been most disappointed with this map, is that I feel like the Canyon Lake just doesn't really come into play much. Like, maybe it's just we haven't had great maps.
It only comes into play if it gets to wood control.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's really important all of a sudden. But most games haven't been that long on this map.
We got the Teuton Paladins coming in on the flank and attacking the back line, hitting some Hoofnies. The Hoofnies do fall back. The Hussite wagons are protecting them, and the Elephant Archers from Sniper are here to help support against the Teuton army. This is a lot of army from Ula coming in. And the Hoofnies doing a lot of damage here, and some siege onagers coming in on the flank to hit those Elephant Archers. Sniper finally reacting and pulling them away. I think Benanji's getting pushed back here, but I don't think he's going to be taking too much damage. There's no trebs, there's no bomber cannons.
The thing for Bohemians is that you don't ever want to lose your Haufnitze. And so far, he hasn't really lost any. Maybe now he loses a few. Not really right now. So as long as he loses everything except the Haufnitze, he's still fine. Mm-hmm. Just wants Haufnitze to stay alive, and then that's all fine.
Yeah, and especially with the Elephant Archers from Sniper here just kind of supporting, that's going to be such a massive benefit for dealing with these Teutons. South side, a lot of Cav Archers. We see 47 Cav Archers plus 16.
Look at the Japanese Cav Archers. That's not the Japanese, Lithuanian Cav Archers. That's really weird. pushing
For some
like
reason, I was
those.
thinking they're like Magyar Cav archers, which would make sense, but no, it's the Lithuanians. So, I mean, it looks like it is
Otter's
kind of working.
population isn't looking that great right now, and most of the elephants on the bottom here got cleared. This could turn really, really difficult for Otter to hold here.
Yeah, it's not. He
Um,
was able to take that castle, but it did cost him quite a lot, and so he's kind of on the back foot. I mean, he does have the nice donjon wall supporting the trade in the south side, and they're already getting it up, so that is pretty nice. And I mean, there is some good damage on the north side, so Otter might just be in a I just have to hold while the Hoofneys do their work, and the 2v1 push on the top side could do some massive damage. If Otter holds for long enough, even if he takes a lot of damage,
Otter is in a really tough spot now. Got all of his army clear. There's a lot of Japanese traps in his face. It's kind of a race who kills faster now, but 16 Haufnitzer on the top side um, probably are gonna do the job a lot faster than the traps
yeah.
on the bottom.
And even just mixing in some elephants here and just throwing them kind of into the meat grinder at least means that Original can't push as fast as he wants to. Yeah, Otter is definitely holding on for a hope. It is going to be a base trade situation, and I mean, there's a lot on this north side for Benanji and Sniper. So I think the race might be a little bit faster on the top side. So Otter is just, I mean, you can see everyone's sending resources to Otter, just hoping that he can hold on and survive. Some elephants will come down from Sniper to try to help support this. But I think if Otter can just hold on long enough for the damage on the top side to be significant, then I think he'll be fine. I think it's a fine trade for him. Water is fully controlled by Sniper, but I mean the cannon galleons are just missing shots instead of hitting these castles down here. So, you know, not the most benefit.
It's just about who gets to hold longer here. The top side is looking kind of rough, more rough now, but there's a lot of army from Team Pakistan here to deal with that.
Yeah.
But on the bottom side, there isn't really any army from Team Germany to stop this push.
Yeah, it is. Siege was helping a lot on that south side with their army, but he moved it forward or north.
Oh,
to
and the
deal with
lighters find the Haufnitz. They're gonna kill everything,
Oh,
and that
no.
push gets set back so much here. The elephants probably won't die, but this push is stopped for now.
Yeah, and Siege has grabbed 3 relics. Important to note. So we do have, yeah, push at least gets slowed down. Still a couple Hoofneys firing, and still massive elephant archer army. So I mean, it did get, the push got slowed, but it's not completely done. That is going to allow, that does mean that Otter needs to survive for longer, and it is not looking good for Otter. I think and the elephants are
really
so
bad,
hard
yeah.
to support. Yeah, it's so hard to support with a slow elephant civ. Especially when a lot of your elephant archers are on that north side. And kind of need to be there because this is so
That's the
much
tricky
Lithuanian
thing.
army.
Both pockets pushed with their big army on top and at the bottom, but then the Lithuanian had the opportunity to just switch up to the top and kind of stall that push there, while Sniper couldn't really help out his teammate to stop the push from Original.
And we do see a lot more elephants being redirected down to the south side. And I mean, there's not as, I mean, now there's a bit more army and a lot of Japanese trebs, but Original doesn't have as much here to push back all these elephants. So this could be a nice little pushback and help Otter survive. But now they're in the trade and sniping trade. And while the fight on the north side isn't going great or horribly for Team Germany, they're not doing enough damage. They're not hitting the trade.
Yeah, but they will also get to the trade line
I
now.
don't know, yeah. They
And
did push
Ulla's eco is in a worse spot than Otter. Both are in a really bad spot. I don't know.
It could end up being a full-on...
But the elephants
yeah.
now are able to put a hold at least to the push on the bottom. And on top, it's still like the elephants still have no answer here.
Yeah, there's so many elephants there, and with so much gunpowder coming out for Benanji, it is just... And the Teutons are kind of dead right now. There's 11 paladins, 6 halberdiers. There's just not really anything. It is a 1v2 for Siege without the Teuton really helping. And, I mean, yeah, Cav archers are sniping a lot of trade here, and the Japanese continue to pressure. I mean, that pushback was nice, and there's more elephants coming in for Sniper, but all it did was kind of buy some time. I think Sniper kind of has to transition into fully helping focus on the south side and let
Think
Benanji
Germany is doing
1v1.
a pretty big mistake here, trying to keep pushing the ring instead of just destroying the trade line here.
Mm-hmm.
He could just push to the very top corner, disrupt the trade line. But instead they are choosing to kind of keep fighting on the ring here, which maybe gives Pakistan the time they need to get back here.
Yeah, the other thing is that, like, theoretically, if both the Teutons, or if both Ula and Otter are knocked out, and it would end up in like a corner flip, and I mean, you kind of, if you're gonna lose your corner, you need to secure your opponent's corner, right?
Yeah. So
I saw Katie. Yeah, that's a good. So yeah,
Not my native language. I have an excuse here.
It's fine. All right, Trebs do take out a bunch of the markets, and I mean, Castle does go up for Otter, but I mean, that push, the corner push has been
the push
stalled.
is still like, and now the ring kind of directs them into the trade line, even though.
And the Candy Galleons of Sniper have finally found out that there's some lakeside property that he needs to clear up. So
Next big army got cleared on the top. I think this could slowly turn into a GG here.
yeah, I think Otter has survived long enough.
The trade line is all, finally they sent some units into the trade line, and now it's fully disrupted here.
Mm-hmm. And Otter survived. I mean, like, yeah, there's a bunch of Japanese down here, but I think Sniper realizing that his elephant archers on the top side don't really need to do anything else. He can just send army down south, and I don't think Original has enough to be able to push into the remnants of Otter's army and the Bengalis here. Some camel.
Benanji gets some insane shots onto the cavalry from Siege here.
And Otter has
90 kills on those Hoofnits. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it is the benefit of Hoofnies, right? Is you keep them alive. Like you said, you keep the Hoofnies alive and you're going to win the match. And yeah, I mean, Otter and Sniper don't even really need to push back on the south side. They're doing so much damage in the top side that it looks like Germany B might be able to wrap this up. Pakistan down to 90 military. Still has decent eco, but it is so hard to engage into these Hoofnies.
Pretty much no one has trade right now, so it's just about who can keep their army alive the most, and then the elephant archers are obviously the best unit because they don't die, really.
Yeah.
But maybe the army from Sniper is getting, from Benanji is getting low here on the top, but still feels like it's enough.
Yeah, I think once they actually start really pressuring this trade, like, I mean, Ula's been cut off.
They could just walk into the trade line.
Yeah. And finally some random halberdiers and gunpowder are going forward. Cass, like, I think they have an opportunity to really mess up the trade here, but they're pushing into the middle, which, like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But and in the south side, I mean, another big push coming from Original, but there's enough here from Sniper that he can just kind of hold this off, and he doesn't really need to win on the south side. He just needs to survive long enough for Otter to boom back and not lose their trade again. And now
Sniper is just playing the support here on both sides, just having the meat, so
I mean,
so you can't really be cleared.
Yeah, he is losing quite a few elephants and like a decent engagement from
Siege. Finally, again, we have some units in the trade line for Team Germany.
Yeah, it was had a decent surround, but just not enough for the Lithuanians. Yeah. Again, I'm just shocked they haven't dealt with the corner at all, and they just pushed along the ring.
It's kind of crazy. I guess it works if you follow the ring to the closest point to the trade line and then just push from there. Ula is still fully dead, while Otter is in a really decent position now. He held on and got his eco back. And Siege is also not really on top now. He lost most of his trade cards. He won't really get another army after this one.
Yeah. I mean, it is shocking that Ula is just, like, really free to try to reboom in the corner by himself. He's just SimCitying up on the top side and is like, I can't do anything, but I'm not being pressured. Like, they could have wiped out Ula. I think they could have actually straight up defeated Ula. Oh no, he reboomed in the north on the right side, so.
Yeah.
But Pakistan calls him, Germany takes 3-1. Wow. Great shown from Germany.
They kind of calculated game 1 loss into 3 straight wins here.
Yeah.
Worked really well for Team Germany.
Especially with how badly Otter was getting beaten early on. Like, he was falling far behind. The Elephant Archers just massively winning the fight on the north side for Benanji and Sniper, into just Otter lasting longer than Ula, and then once Siege had to go deal with that, Sniper was able to help support Otter and keep the corner alive. So, congrats to Germany B taking the first seed in their pool. That's a pretty big upset.
Now this game, the big carry kind of goes to Benanji with the full domination here with Bohemians.
Yeah.
Really impressive micro here.
It was very impressive, yeah. It was that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, it's just he dealt so much damage and helped win the fight so hard on the top side, and then came back just at the right time to help save Otter from completely crumbling. Because like Original was in Otter's base, was pushing the trade. The corner got wiped out. Like Otter was dead to rights, and just the Elephants right at the clutch time showed up and just saved Otter from death. And unfortunately, Siege wasn't able to do the same for Ula, and that's what decided the game.
Yep. Also, what decided the game here is Otter kind of. I assume it's Otter based on what he's writing in chat right now. Otter just out cooking Pakistan with kind of counter picks on every single game. Their strategies really worked out, but they had some potential counters for Pakistan that. But if you're sure you know what Pakistan is going to play on what map, then obviously the counters don't really apply here.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like Pakistan probably played the most, not like, and this is not an insult, they probably played a pretty standard selection of civs here and there, which usually goes well, but when your opponent is game planning specifically around you playing standard, I mean, anti-meta is a strategy, and it beats the meta. If you don't go for the meta, you maybe have a better chance, but that was very well played. Remember what we said during game one? Oh, absolutely. Want an interview? Sure. You know what, Otter, hop in here. Let's hear your let's discuss some of the pool discussions now that the pool play is over.
I don't think that does. Pool play is over. Is that official now?
No. For them, Arabian and Iceland still have to play their match, but that Germany B made it into the top seed. Pakistan is in the second seed. So
that's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah. So don't know how much Otter is willing to discuss his plans, because he probably is. I mean, not to say that Germany B isn't a solid team, but they definitely will be. They're not one of the top seeds. So it's you got to keep some of your you got to keep some of your strategies close to heart. So we might not get the full strategy cooking from Otter. But that was a great game, and I mean, Pakistan didn't roll over either. Those are tough fought wins. I think Pakistan had a chance to win a lot of those games, and
it's just tough to kind of get counter picked because you don't really know what to do when you just. It's super tough. Every single game it felt like Germany is one step ahead, and it didn't really come down to gameplay but to strategizing.
This has definitely been
really tough loss.
Yeah, this definitely seems like the most like pre-planning this game. This is probably the match where the pre-planning mattered the most and the cooking really shined out of any of the other matches, just because it is. I think most other teams, especially some of the top teams, just kind of rely on, we're getting the whole squad in here. Everyone in here. Okay. Congrats, folks.
Hello.
Oh, if best players were playing.
Yeah. Congrats to all of you. I mean, yeah. Any immediate words for chat on what you think on your result?
I just want to hear what Keller thinks about our strategies after game one's over, but I already said that in chat. So
I can say that it was really impressive how well you read, how you just knew what they are playing pretty much in every single game, and I see a lot of counter potential from the second pool for the stuff you were doing. But if you know that those counters are not being played, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it was definitely
It was based on what we expected, and it did what we expected.
yeah, this has definitely been the matchup, like I was just saying before you hopped in here. This has definitely been the matchup where like game planning and like civ picks have mattered the most. Like, not that I don't think you could have won without it, but I think that just gave you such huge edge that Pakistan's kind of more standard play was just, you know, expertly dismantled by some of your choices.
It felt like
so.
the teams were very evenly matched with just 3 really, really tough civ matchups for Team Pakistan, but normally if it's the same pool or something, you could say it's more luck based what civ matchups you get on what map. But I feel like this was just completely out masterminded.
It
from
was
Team Germany.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, so game 1 was it kind of just planned on being a little bit of a throwaway?
What do you think, guys?
I think
Hey, we're interviewing. We're
I
interviewing
chatted to you during the game,
We
and
obviously planned to win that because Turfux is a Mapuche god and sniped 11 villages of Serbia.
Mapuche OP.
I think it worked a lot better than you guys expected.
Maybe. A lot better than I expected. I don't know what the guys thought they were in the game, so I should shut up.
Yeah, well, I think if I push more towards the water earlier, then we can win water because that's basically our only win condition. Because if we just fight on one spot against Persians and Koreans, we are dead. Yeah, maybe if we win water, we could have won the game.
It looked tough to win the water with, especially with elephants hitting the docks and everything. It was and then Koreans kind of having a better matchup against the Mapuche when it was 1v1. It was just not the best map.
It worked a lot. It worked a long time for Mapuche. I think Koreans. That's kind of the what they struggle with in 1v1s. They kind of get countered by either cavalry or like eagle warrior units like Champy here. Because they don't have the strongest infantry and they don't really have any other units that do melee damage. So Champy against Koreans is something that more teams should use. We saw some Muisca not using Champy.
I did see some Konas as well, which, I mean, I don't know. I still have no idea if Konas are good or not, but it was definitely an interesting play.
Just more Champy should have probably been the play.
But the champions, they look like the first unit of Age of Empires 1, if you guys remember that. Like, that's how it looks and that's how it feels to play, so...
Trying anything at that point. Yeah, but then game 2 was... Yeah, and then game 2 was pretty favored going forward, though we had a nice discussion on whether or not that map should have been a restart, technically. I don't know if you guys saw the wood line that Team Pakistan had to deal with.
I just saw things going down to Lutrans.
Yeah, I don't think it would have mattered.
I don't think it would have mattered if there was a restart, but
someone said it after the game, I think, but
yeah,
we don't look at our own islands in our navy, right?
I feel like you could have read that and won it the same way, so it doesn't really matter.
But
also like that, there was kind of map like our was shorter and wider, and their island was like longer and not so wide, and like this could be the advantage if you want to go for the trade. You got better trade on the other island, but if you lose the water, then of course it's like a disadvantage because everything is being reached out from the water. So that was different generation this time, I think.
Yeah, the chat's joke was if Otter was playing where was it Ula who had to deal with it? If Otter was in that position, Otter would have paused and asked for a re. That was the chat's joke. So they had a whole line of trees that just completely blocked them from front docking. But yeah, I don't think it mattered much.
It would have never been a thing if Malda just agrees to re and doesn't want to wait an hour.
Yeah.
That's a good situation. It's obviously a situation it jokes about. And it's a good chat joke.
Yeah. It was, like I said, we both could see a re being acceptable, but also it wouldn't have changed much with the civs, especially with them burning Koreans for game 1. Yeah, it was just kind of you had the better water sieves, and it was
And the moment I was very nervous before game one. The moment the game one was loaded up, I was in chat. I saw the sieves. I felt good about Team Islands, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, 'cause, yeah, Korean turtle ships are disgusting.
There
but
were so many
definitely-
mind games going on with the whole Team Island situation as well in the group, if I'm allowed to mention that. Because they picked Team Islands versus Arabia to maybe show us that we shouldn't pick Team Islands or something. Because we had a practice set with Pakistan
Mhm.
before the brackets came out. Where
Right.
we won Team Islands, we played Team Islands, we picked Team Islands, and we won Team Islands against them in the practice set. And then like the drafts of both of our teams in the week where we both played was Arabia. I felt like both drafts were a commentary to either Pakistan or to Germany B, and Ulla and me were a bit communicating on a meta level there.
Definitely the most mind games of any matchups for sure. I think there was, like I've said multiple times, there's, I think, more preparation going into this match than I think any of the other matchups in the tournament so far. And then game 3, Vinland Saga. That was a spicy one. Keller and I did not have the most faith in a Mongol's pocket, especially against the Slavs on Vinland Saga, but y'all proved us wrong. AR12 showing up as the MVP there.
And I'm still not sure how reproducible the 10 onagers kill 40 elephants is. That was just insanely well played.
That's why we
Maybe
have
if he spreads his elephants a bit more, that
That
gets.
is cheating.
But yeah, it was really well played by all of you guys in the Vinland Saga game. Everyone knew what they should do to win this game, and pretty much everyone did the best they could. And AR12 did amazing with his ground attacks. Otter did amazing with just holding on. And as soon as AR12 comes in, snipes some of the siege, he gets pushing with elephants that he saved.
I want to ask about that, Otter. You were planning on? Did you kind of go into the game planning on kind of holding off on the elephants until you needed them, or was that kind of an adaptation you did?
What I came into the game with the thought of my goal in the game is to slowly die to Slavs and hope the other side can beat the Muisca. We talked a lot about where they would play Goth, and we were expecting Goth a bit, so I was already in a kind of more defensive champion mindset. But it's generally, I think it's generally also for 1v1s, like Vietnamese and Burmese, it's a good idea to delay the elephants in order to then use them more cautiously instead of just wasting all those resources at the start.
Yep.
Yeah, we saw your Sid and we're like, they definitely planned for the Goth map or the Goth selection, and then there's no Goths, and we're like, oh, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for you, but turns out it worked out well. Yeah, the Mapuche are just, or not the Muisca are just, it felt so up and down with that south side. I mean, like we said, the siege onagers, AR coming in with the siege onagers, wiping out all those elephants, kind of saved the day down there. But it felt like the Muisca were good and then bad, and then it's just, I mean, it's the last chieftains DLCs are just still trying to be figured out in DM. And then game 4, I want to ask about, because you guys used
Turfox. I don't know if you want to ask Turfox something about his side.
Oh yeah. Anything from Turfox?
I mean, did you plan for Romans? For Goths on Vinland Saga? Because your both flanks looked like a Goth counter to me. Or did you plan with the Muisca? Because they are also Muisca counters if they're Goth counters, because both civs kind of died to really strong champions.
We thought about Goth, but we were happy when we saw you can still talk about the Muisca, maybe without saying too much, Turfox.
Either one they have to play on this map, right? Either Goth or Muisca.
Yeah.
So Romans, and we have to play Romans. So we thought this is the best matchup there. So we were happy when we saw Muisca.
I mean, they had to play it somewhere, like.
Yeah.
So there was no other maps for Muisca, so that's kind of like the worst tip about pool 2. You can't use it in such a good way, so that's like somewhere it has to be.
Mm-hmm. And if you can get the early Temple Guard rush, like it seems like that would be a fine place for Muisca, but it's tough to play the Muisca for sure. As we keep seeing. But game 4, y'all selected some pretty powerful civs there, and I don't know if it was like a planned kind of necessarily an all-in on trying to win game 4 and just kind of punting game 5, but I mean, I suppose you still have the Spanish left, so it's not a full all-in, but I feel like your civs for game 5 would have been much weaker had you lost pool 4. What did you expect the Jurchens and Gujaras from Pakistan, or did you expect them to hold it off like they did?
I think we expected the Gujaras, but not the Jurchens. So, but like the civ we picked, I think they were the best for the land maps, and still we had decent civs for the last game left with the Spanish, especially on Kavazan. And if you take a look at the civs, like Bengalis and Bohemians are maybe not the civs you want to play on Kavazan anyway. So that was kind of nice, I think.
Yeah, Otter almost got wiped. It was a bit of a base trade for a hot second there. Sicilians definitely, I think, got the short end of the stick with those flank matchups.
Yeah, the other way around would have been much better. I'm also not too happy about how I'm very happy with how I played game 3. I'm not that happy with how I played game 4. But Zeriat does Cavatches really well. Japanese are strong in the hands of a good old schooler. That's why I also like teams like the US, etc. Like them, hype the Japanese up so much, I like them so much. These guys have played Cavatches for 10 years, and if you give them Japanese CA plus good traps, they can make a lot of work with that. And that was a Zeri didn't feel as threatening with the Slavs as I expected. Like, I never thought I would push there. I was only playing with Zeri 3 games in a row, by the way. Talking about that rivalry. But yeah, in game 4, I think Zeri showed what he was capable of, and I need to practice the scenes a bit more, maybe.
Yeah,
I think the Sicilians just isn't that strong in the current meta. They kind of underperformed a lot so far this tournament, in my opinion.
Absolutely, yeah. They definitely have been, I think, the most disappointing of the quote-unquote better civs that people expected from them, especially because they're a lot better in 1v1s, but in team games, the Donjons just aren't good enough.
I think Sicilians are very good in 2v2. In CMOD, they were really good, but in 3v3, they are not that good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed.
But we have to talk about how Sniper beasted that game. He constantly
Sniper,
kept sending us rest. He saved me, and I don't know what he did on the other side, but
yeah,
the Sniper
just
completely saved my game there, I think, at least on my side.
Yeah, Sniper played a really good, kind of 2v1 on bow. Like on the top, it was a 2v1 for a time, and on the bottom, it was also 2v1 for a time. Then they kind of managed to hold the push on top because Lithuanians could switch over faster. But Sniper managed to get the elephants to the bottom just in time to save you.
Yes,
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna ask Sniper, like, what was kind of your, like, how were you trying to balance helping your flanks? Because it was like, you decided to commit heavily to the push on the top side for a bit while Otter was dying, and then you got there just in time to save him. But I am curious of, like, what your decision process was for when you shifted your elephants one way or the other.
Yeah, I think like the first attempt was to push faster than Otter dies. That's why I was like going first on the other side with Benanji. But then we had to shift right in time, and I think like the hardest thing for me was the pop cap limit for a long time.
Yeah.
I had to delete. I think one time Otter was looking so bad, and I was 200 popped, couldn't like produce anymore. I think I deleted 25 villages just to get pop space for saving Otter's life there. And I think that was right in time, but that was the focus was on top. But I tried to split up the armies on both sides, so I got the usage of the elephants in both situations. Because if Otter died,
the elephant archer you sent to the top just never died.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's 60 pop that you can't use on the bottom.
Yeah, we actually I microed them a lot. Like Benanji was like always saying, "Oh, there's another shot coming in," and I was always like using
That
the
was
hotkeys to
really
go back.
impressive micro together from you guys with the Elephant Archer and the Haufnitze. So kind of the Haufnitze moved through and around the Elephant Archers. So the cavalry would then attack the Elephant Archers instead of the Haufnitze. And you kept both units alive. That was really, really well played. And they just could never stop that army composition.
Yeah, like most of the time, he was like telling they're jumping now, and then I like manually clicked the elephant archers on the calf that were like the closest to the Hafnisse. That's why they seem to never die, because I was always killing the horses in front and not like just patrolling in.
I do have to.
Worth it.
Yeah, I do have to ask you and Benanji, why didn't you go for the corner? Why did y'all move along the ring and keep pushing the middle instead of deleting Ula from the corner and hitting their trade?
So first thing is we don't know how much he has in his corner, because there could be like a lot of e-core stuff, or maybe not. I don't know. And the biggest reason I think was you just cannot leave the high ground here. If we leave, we are dead, because we are slow. It's a very slow push, and a very expensive push. I had like 20 Hufnitze.
Mm-hmm.
If I lose them, it will slow us down. Yeah. We could
also like
yeah.
the hill was so close to. I think the hill was so close to the end of the map, and like if we were like going down in the trade, then I think they could nearly like kill us from the hill. So that's why
It just felt like sending, I don't know, 5 elephant archers or something, because the trade was just they had like 60 trade units altogether. They were just moving 10 tiles away from your army. But I mean, it worked out how you play it, but it just always looked kind of weird how your like 100 army is sitting there directly next to the trade line of them.
I was expecting.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we were a bit, maybe a bit too careful. The thing is, we heard, or I heard, and Sniper saw it on the other side with Otter, that it's just tough. We were losing our trade a bit at some point. So I was thinking, okay, if we lose the push, or if we lose the momentum, we have a very, very bad game. So I was very careful to just push on the hill, and not lose this army, because that were everything we had, kinda. That was the only reason we had such a good position in the game.
And we keep the rest for the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will say it was interesting, because I was wondering if there was a world where if you had focused the corner, it would have ended up like a corner flip, where essentially, Ula gets eliminated, it gets wiped off, and Otter gets wiped off, and then it just kind of like you swap the corners, and then it's just like stabilizes at that point. But you kind of took out Siege as well in the middle, so the push did a lot of damage. So
some killing galleys in the lake. That took out some buildings, some castles.
They were sitting there for a while doing nothing. They're just shooting at random units going through, and I was.
That now, come on.
You wanted to talk about the cannon galleys.
Come on. Sniper has the right caster energy here. The cast is Titanic.
Oh, that's fine. I think like the base swap would have been worse for us, because we don't have the mobility sieves. So that's why going steady and slow would be better for us. Like, I mean, it took some while, but like for some point after I saved Otter, I think we couldn't lose it anymore. So it didn't matter if it goes for like 5 or 10 minutes more.
Yeah.
Also, I think we needed to keep pushing the buildings, because Ulla was trying to rebuild his base. And in the corner, he has like, of course, he has like 20 farms and stuff. But I saw him building houses on our way, on the hill and stuff, or below the hill. So it was like important to kill the Citro shops all the time again, and just keep him down while pushing, before they can mass an army together again. Because they always had like Ula had like 20, 30 paladin maybe, but it's not enough. They need a big army. They need a lot of siege on again, and then they can kill our army. But the way we pushed, it was hard for Ula to rebuild, I think.
Yeah, Siege had some really good army engagements and like had massives, but essentially just kind of fell apart against the mass of Elephant Archers, Hoofnies, and whatever else, and some and like the Hussite wagons and gunpowder you mixed in there, and it just without Ula ever really having a moment to rebuild and remass an army, it was just he just couldn't do enough damage to your death ball that slowly, even if it was super slow, it started moving through their base. So
yeah.
Now, I know you're not gonna reveal too many more secrets, but did you have any specific plans for? I mean, probably weren't thinking about it, but like for Game 5, was there anything you were thinking about specifically with having the Spanish Malians and Wei left, or is that all?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
but we don't tell.
Fair enough. Yeah, I know. I was
The answer
wondering.
to that is yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. I was saying as I was like, oh yeah, they want to do an interview. I was like, I don't know how much they're gonna tell us because even if they are in one of the top seeds now, as we saw here, is I think your team's best. Beside, like, there's a few things we talked about, whereas like all of you are very good, and we saw it where it's like not so interchangeable, but if any of you are playing, it's not a significant skill loss like some of the other teams might be. And so on top of that, it is, I think, the other benefit you guys have is more than any other team. You guys have cooked the hardest and have the most plans. And like, if you go up against like Sweden, for example, Sweden's just gonna play pretty stock standard and try to win off their skills, right? And so you kind of need that extra edge of all the planning y'all have done. Sniper's leaving. Yeah, thanks for the game, Sniper. Well played.
Never the Discord issue, probably.
Got to go do some admin work, I'm sure. But yeah, how much like
Sweden also has like more than one strong player, right? So
yes, yeah. It's mostly just like I think I'm trying not to be rude. I'm not saying y'all are a weaker team, but I think compared to some of the other top teams, you are bridging any gap that there might be by cooking harder than anyone else. And this match showed how much good preparation and good civ drafting can just give you such a huge advantage. Like I thought it was gonna be a closer match than I think it ended up being, just because, like Keller said, he kind of ran circles around them in the civ draft.
But
So.
guys, the tournament is all full mirrors. What's there to cook?
We didn't have faith, but we're shown wrong.
Obviously, it's really good for strategy to have like 5 people who can give equally good input, who all have knowledge about the game on a way above average level, right?
Yeah. It's
I can execute those things as well. Like,
yeah,
I wouldn't say nobody of us is bad at executing our strategies, and we have different strengths and weaknesses. And it's nice to have all 5 people here especially for this set, because that was the big one, right?
Yeah.
For the group stage. And in before we get a draw against UKA, should set us up well for the playoffs. So we really wanted to win today, and to have all the options there, right? And I think you don't need to decipher who's good at what, right?
Right. I do think there's also something to be said. Yeah, like I think y'all benefit from, like you said, like all of your, even if some of you might just more stay on the bench in theorycraft, all of you can play at the same level. But I think it is something to be said about some other teams. Like the one I always think of is Austria. They have their clear top 3, right? And the Freakins and Wien Dinchester.
A non-player top 1, and then
exactly,
long
top
nothing,
0,
and then the Freakin brothers.
Yeah. But there is some really good benefit to having someone just kind of like as a coach, just brainstorming on the sides, like helping, watching some VODs or like watching some stuff and coming up with some ideas. And even though, like I've said multiple times, your team, you're all playing, like you said, having the extra expertise and having everyone participating, and brainstorming and theory crafting, this match is just a testament to just how much benefit that can be. So.
Don't forget the spreadsheet skills as well. Our Sniper just said it, and our spreadsheet literally has more than 10 pages, or 10 pages at least.
Okay, that was one question I wanted to see, is like how much. I know y'all have been cooking, but like I needed a number, and I'm excited. Like
Sniper said 10, but it's actually more like 15.
That's crazy. I do want to see what this. I mean, it's probably all in German, so I don't know if I'll be very able to read it, but I would love to see how much cooking actually went on once the tournament's over. So
Turfok's also really a master. He's like always noting down everything live while we're talking and while we're playing, and I don't know, it's very orderly. It helps a lot.
mm-hmm. Is this why some of they've been a little slow on answering some of the admin questions I've had? Yeah, that was, I think, a great set. I don't know if there's anything else from chat. Hydra says Sweden has 20 pages. I'd be surprised.
Sweden has 0 pages right now, I'm pretty sure.
It's just 20 pages of a picture of Frost. Peon says, congrats. Yeah, so y'all have made it into top seed of playoffs. So we'll be figuring out the drawings soon.
Give us Netherlands.
Netherlands still needs to beat Switzerland, right? They haven't played their decider game.
Yeah. I
That
trust
is-
on the Zhao. Zhao
Yeah.
carry.
I would love to. That would be a fun matchup. But yeah, I don't know if there's any questions from chat, or if y'all have anything else you want to say. Otherwise, GG's. Kelly, you have any other questions for them?
Nope.
Cool.
GG's.
Awesome. Well, I'll let y'all go, and I'll wrap up the stream and send a raid. Congratulations, and for all the viewers, thanks for watching. Good luck in the rest of your
Thanks, guys.
matches.
Thank you so much for casting and co-casting.
Absolutely. I'll get it up on YouTube, and or you can just watch the VOD because I know you do. So we'll get it shortly. So awesome. Keller, thanks for the co-cast, and congrats to Germany B, and good try from Pakistan, and hopefully Pakistan can do better in the playoffs.